What up, everybody? It's Nate, along with the usual crew, Ian, Max, and Tom here. We're playing some
billing
Nioh.
today. Hell yeah. I come first.
Yeah, you got top billing. Yeah. Mostly just because that's how it lays out on my Discord chat.
There are the reasons. It doesn't matter. We don't need to interrogate that part of the question.
Point is, I came first.
Correct.
Top billing. Yeah. I hear your maiden list this week.
Yep. I'm without the maiden. I am banished. I'm now a maidenless tarnished, unfortunately.
Penniless pauper.
Yeah, she is visiting Cincinnati.
Yeah, the lands beyond.
Yeah, the lands between. So that is where she is. She has abandoned me altogether.
Altogether.
It seems that there are other people more important than me in her life.
Wow.
Look, I always knew that.
Not bitter at all.
I always knew it was true. I just didn't want it to be proven. Like I didn't want to demonstrate, like throw it in my face. But
sure.
Yeah. Time for a new era.
Yeah, I can't pretend that it's not true anymore. It's really sad. So, oh well.
All right.
It's just me and the pups and the cats. That's sweet.
You and the critters, huh?
Yep. Where are we at in Nioh?
So we are on the
land?
steps of Mount Hiei. I don't know why I'm here. I totally forget why I'm here. But it is a next main mission. I caught up on all of my side missions and got to do some cool dueling.
That's a question you're asking about Woeful Wednesdays altogether, Nate. Why are we here?
But yeah, I had a really cool duel with this red armor guy who had a spear, who like kicks my ass like all the time. But he's fun to fight. Oh! All right, he can two-shot me. Good to know.
You just got to get back into it.
Is he healing? He is healing. Okay.
Based on Nate's general experience with this game, that is getting back into it. Just getting the shit kicked in all the time.
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah.
Indeed.
And we have already achieved maximum velocity of this game.
All right. Well,
it's a very colorful drop there.
Yeah.
Green and magenta little kitty cats.
Oh.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
Whoa! What's happening?
This guy.
Damn.
I fell through a hole, and now I'm fighting wizards.
Are these? No, okay, these are not Westerns. I thought for a second
they
wizard
fighting
gang.
each other. They've
they
got
were
Bruce Lee yells. Oh shit!
Oh, like cavalry sabers? That's what I thought they were doing for a second.
Yeah.
Whoa. He's got buffs. Okay.
Ooh, just cut his arm off.
All right. These are like the one lady who's got the crazy hat that teaches me how to use ninja powers.
The crazy hat lady.
Yeah, this basically what equates to magic.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I was not expecting to fall through the floor. Wild.
Some bullshit.
Something tells me I will circle back here at some point.
Some Michael Zaki bullshit.
Yeah. Can I open this? Yes, thank you. All right. And then also, I've switched out my Fire Wolf for my Lightning Doggos.
Is that what those little dudes do?
Yeah, it's what the little pink and green guys are. I have switched out my usual Fire Wolf for those guys. I have yet to use them, but they seem pretty fun too. I mean, you can't go wrong with doggos. Is that a wolf? Is that a fox?
It is, yeah. Oh, you have to hit him.
What does it say?
Damn.
Ignore him.
What did it say?
It's Sif all over again. Regular sized.
Oh.
I wish I could, but that dude was gonna follow me.
Unnecessary. He's gonna follow you home.
Yeah, I'll feed him.
Yeah, you just need to take care of him. Nate hates puppies. Internet.
Oh,
Write it
boy.
down.
Killing me.
Write it down.
Fox puppies.
Yeah. Puppy murderer.
Are those called? What's a fox's kids called? Are they puppies?
I think so.
They're probably pups at least. Yeah.
I mean, they are.
They're like kids.
No,
KIT
kids are
or something.
goats.
No, kits. KIT.
Oh, kits. Oh.
Could be right.
Maybe.
I don't know. Possible.
Because the Kit Fox game, yeah, it's pup or kit. Okay.
Okay.
Sometimes they're also referred to as cubs. But there's a video game company called I just thought about it after I asked. There's a video game company called Kit Fox Games, and their logo is a fox,
Wait, why would they do it that way? They could have been Foxbox games.
Oh yeah,
Box-
yeah, you're right.
Box, they could have. I don't know. Well, they're a publisher, so like, and even though they're like a
They're
pretty
not-
altruistic publisher, they're
They're
still a
just-
publisher. That's like saying like, you know, you're the most lawful good lawyer, you know,
Yeah,
kind of
not-
thing. Like,
They're not creative folks.
yeah, you're always chaotic evil, but like you're the least chaotic evil, or actually lawful evil as a lawyer.
It's like being the poorest
Hopefully.
billionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, they're the publishers for Dwarf Fortress, for example. They help a lot of indie developers get onto the market and like basically make sure that they don't lose a shit ton of their funds to like and their time having to deal with, you know, all the different platforms directly, because they have the expertise to get somebody onto the platform. So even if they're like taking some off the top, they're taking such a low rate that it is,
Well,
you know,
that's
it's worth
Yeah,
it,
it's better than
essentially.
just having like a flat 30% or whatever.
Yeah, I
to
mean,
have
you're
the
still paying
facilitation
like
and the backup.
the Steam craziness, but like you're not having to spend all the time yourself to figure
where I
out the Steam
was.
craziness and like get all the taxes done and everything. So, you know, you're really like, it's paying for the expertise, but they're making sure you pay the lowest price possible for the expertise. So it's, you know, I mean, it sucks that like all of that is even something that needs to be considered, but like, you know, that's the reality we live in, unfortunately.
This is why I'm a little bit wary of, well, one of many reasons why I'm usually a little bit wary of getting on an airplane, especially these days. It's extremely complex systems and engineering built by the lowest bidder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the combo.
Yeah. Fortunately, the lowest bidder, in at least historically, has been still pretty good. But like,
that's-
you're right.
There's a reason for that,
Yeah.
especially in America. It's regulations, baby.
Mhm.
That's why they exist. They're
Well,
good
and
for the world.
I agree, but we also do have like our industry in particular, has strongly policed itself historically. I'm not saying that we should depend on that. I'm just saying that like they actually do
Yeah.
deserve a little bit of credit.
I mean, there's a
Like not a
market.
ton, like
There's a
you know,
market
because we have Boeing, for example. But like,
Yeah.
you know, they've kind of killed a lot of what, you know,
So think of it
the
this way:
industry had built up.
there is a
but-
marketing imperative for this, but I work in an industry that's covered largely by the FDA. And
Oh,
frankly,
which is
a
a
lot of
joke.
pharma companies are actually quite happy that the FDA exists, such that they don't have to police themselves, and therefore
Yeah.
they don't have to, because there is a marketing imperative there.
Yeah,
They don't have to
exactly.
worry about
Because
that marketing imperative.
you would have problems against a competitor who just basically decided not to police themselves and cut
It levels-
corners.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
power politics. Those willing to stoop to whatever means are necessary, regardless of ethics.
It just so happens
a
with
huge
planes
advantage.
that like, if your planes are falling out of the sky, you're not going to be competitive.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
That's just enough that people don't notice.
yeah, killing people tends to reduce the competitiveness of your
Oh,
product.
it's like Boeing. There's a,
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
threshold of the consumer base where there's a certain failure rate that we're willing to accept. Boeing is starting to bump up against the extreme
And-
limits.
And oddly
Yeah.
enough, in pacemakers and planes,
Mhm.
that threshold's pretty low or
Yeah.
high, however you want
I
to
think
look at
Cameron's
it.
talked about this recently too, with like the Boeing failures and stuff.
I believe
Mhm.
so. Yeah.
There we go. You notice my stats are a little bit more increased. I've hit dexterity 20.
So here's a question,
That's
Yeah.
that's actually why I brought it up.
Nate. Do you have a
went that
thought
deep into it.
process? This might be a dumb question, knowing your history, but do you have a thought process, like an intentionality behind the build here, or is this just like, I think I'd try this?
Well, yeah, mostly my thought process, I like the Kusarigama and the regular sword, it seems like. At least I'm really familiar with it. So I'm boosting the stats that do that well.
Hey,
And that-
you know what? I approve of that approach. Nice.
Yeah. The only other one that I was thinking about boosting a little bit is my my spirit one, where I can actually like, you know, benefit from all of the perks whenever I summon my critter, my spiritual critter. Because apparently, like I'm only tapping into like a fifth of what they can give me, because of my spirit level is
I like
high
that.
enough to start getting other perks.
The spirit critter.
My spirit critter, my spitter.
Yeah.
He went on a vision quest to find his spirit
Oh
critter.
god, that's so.
Yeah, it's
That's such
a big
a lot.
boy.
That's a
The
big
design
amount.
is really cool. They're kind of silly almost. They're kind of almost comical, but they're also, as a result, like kind of crazy and terrifying at the same time. They're kind of absurd. Like his eye is really googly and kind of dumb looking, but also
But it's a little unnerving because it's so
Yeah.
irregular.
yes,
It's uncanny.
it's
uncanny.
uncanny, yeah.
Whoa. God, he hits so damn hard.
Yeah.
Double-handed axe, like the
Yeah, that
Hammer fist. I got hammer fisted.
yeah, the hammer fist, the Star Trek hammer.
You're getting fisted.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
that back. No, I don't co-sign that.
Yeah.
I don't endorse that.
Not an
The
official.
views of Max are not shared by the majority of Arbitrary Hero.
It's okay.
Like one of those medication commercials where it's like side effects include like 60 different things.
Yeah, it's almost.
So I think I'm about 2 minutes on the side effects. I'm gonna start picking things up like that. Just stand over them and put my hand out, expect them to like summon
Yeah.
to me.
It'd be interesting a way to acquire items in real life, just to like near field proximity.
Really limited telekinesis.
I mean, it'd be kind of a low grade telekinesis. You strong enough to pick up items in front of you.
Within
like-
arm's
Yeah.
reach,
Yeah,
except
I was-
that you don't have to reach. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying, basically?
Mildly convenient, still miraculous though. Still technically in the miraculous.
It's actually like
power.
on the level of just being on the International Space Station.
Yeah.
Kind of. I
There's
would legit find a lot of utility in that skill, baby.
Well, that's. Have you seen the interview where one of the scientists came back from their mission, and he goes to like just put a pin in the air because he's been used to like
Oh, right.
just leaving pins or like other utensils wherever.
Oh, and they
Because
just like
it
drop
will-
it. Yeah, I've
It
seen
will
this.
stay anywhere you put them. So he's like during an interview, he's talking to this guy, and he like goes to place a pin like in the air, and he just drops it. And they both look at him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that doesn't work now."
Yeah. Oh yeah, that used to work. Oh well.
No, I love that. I'm like, first time I saw that, I was like, "Yeah, you
Oh my
would
god, that's
like,
a new move.
That
Yeah.
would be super convenient. That just like literally 360 degrees around you is like space to just put things."
You wouldn't need a desk really. I mean, everything you would need is already in the same area.
I guess you need something to like brace against to like write, but like other than that, like you don't. You could place everything else in the air around you that you're not actively trying to push against,
True. Yeah.
and you can use everything as propulsion to get yourself from one side of the room to the other.
All right, so they are beatable, but man, it takes a while if they're regenerating.
I mean,
Hmm.
if it bleeds, we can kill it.
Something tells me that guy is not the objective here. I'm gonna lead him away. Are you gonna? Yeah, okay, I thought so.
Hmm.
Again with the falling. I have. Oh shit. Okay.
Again with the falling.
Again with
I
the
was
falling and
thinking-
such.
I was thinking the same thing.
Why is this chest
What are
already
you
open?
talking about?
Oh my god.
Oh god. Oh god.
Yoga.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
So this is like the same like upgraded ogre from before, but now he is like
Yeah, now
orange
he's
instead of blue.
lightning.
He is actually playing Ogre Battle right now.
Yeah, Tactics Ogre.
Yeah, Tactics Ogre.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen this kind of enemy, this archetype of enemy before. He's like a regular ogre guy, but he's infested with like crystals. But I haven't seen an electrically elemental affinity guy.
Is he
before.
Zine Ogre?
Yeah, no. Otherwise, I would love that. That'd be so cool. I did get a chance to play a little bit of Wilds lately. I got to fight Lagiacrus and get my butt
Nice.
kicked. And I was like,
yeah.
oh shit, they brought back, they legit
does
brought
that.
back underwater fighting.
Did you get the?
He's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't
just
beaten I haven't beaten him yet, but man, it's a cool fight. I was appreciative that they actually legitimately brought back like underwater combat in one degree or another.
I was gonna say I can't speak to that. I've heard it's different, but I don't know.
It's different, and I would say it's better. It's not as well, it's not as robust, but it is more polished. I guess. Tom, have you done it yet?
Lagiacrus or
Yeah, the underwater Lagiacrus.
yeah, it's definitely like it's a better compromise than the old system. I think like having
Yeah.
just like to latch, so you don't have like the like free like floating like animations for attacking like in water. I feel like it's probably a little bit better just because like it's not like a whole. You're not spending a lot of time. It's like one phase of the fight and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not like you're like freestanding fighting him. It's you do have to use your grapple. You can use like your slinger ammo as well, but you're not like swinging your sword at him like freestyle, like trying to maneuver and catch up to him. So it's like on the one hand, it feels less free in that way, but at the same time, it's more facilitated and smoother, so it feels better, and the controls are much better. Oh, goddamn. I always catch him with this fadeaway shot.
From downtown. He's on fire.
Shot.
All right, what's your favorite? Yeah, what's your favorite announcer guy?
I mean, you mean like
Of all time?
from any game?
Yeah.
It's between NBA Jam and Killer Instinct, but for me, it's kind of
Oh yeah.
It's that man.
Halo guy is pretty good. He's
Halo
pretty
guy
iconic.
is pretty good. Yeah.
we mentioned this I think a couple streams ago, but like Killer Instinct guy is having a seizure every time he says something,
Yeah.
which is really good.
Yeah.
But like, NBA Jam coined boom shakalaka. Give me a break.
Is that
That's
the one?
true. Yeah.
Is that where it
Do you
came
ever
from?
like?
Hell
I
yeah.
don't
Sure.
think so. Did it?
Do
I
you
mean,
ever wonder
they
what the
include-
direction was like to get those responses from people?
Yeah. How does one
Yeah, how do you direct somebody
one
to
direct-
produce what?
successfully
They
direct
did.
someone to effectively say boom shakalaka?
Yeah.
I think that's one of those where you give the artist a lot of latitude.
It's gotta be.
Just try a bunch of stuff out and let's see what works.
Buffer, go
But
in and do
then-
your buffer.
You think about the time period in which it was like done, and you're like, I mean, they'd have to have like recording in house. You're not like sitting at home for some of these,
Yeah, it's just sound bits.
like people would do nowadays. So I'm like, I can't imagine being called into a studio and being that creative, you know, on the fly kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're just at your like house and you can just try out anything and then send the files you want to send, like that makes a lot of sense. That you could end up with something really unique like that.
You know,
If you, like in front of people doing that, I
when
can't
that game was
imagine.
made, I think sending any file over 1 megabyte would have taken 78,000 days.
Yeah,
So I think they probably had
college,
recorded in person.
a college to college maybe is not like a horrible amount of time. It's
Like not even the,
I'm just saying that like it's doable.
like a
But,
direct internet peer-to-peer kind of connection. Not even internet.
Where it's like your stock ticker, you're either a college or your stock ticker has one letter on the
Yeah.
New York Stock Exchange, and then you have like
Summoning them. Fuck.
the highest bandwidth possible because they gave you all these.
You can train 4 bits at a time. 4
Yeah.
bits.
I mean, you would get this. They gave you like what is it? A's address
damn.
space.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Hey, since you guys are talking about this,
I can
This-
make.
I have a
Oh,
question
sorry.
about my fear of inciting the nerdiest talk in the history of this channel ever, notwithstanding. I must ask you guys, why on earth is it possible that I can open Discord probably 7 or 8 different times over the course of any given day, and it has to update 13 times. For
I
each time
have no
open
idea.
it.
Yeah,
That
that was
happens to
causing
me,
me a
like,
lot of
constantly.
grief actually. For a
Mine
while, it
doesn't
would
do that.
fail to update, and it would just like circle, like it would just think and think and think until it failed.
That's not indicative of just like fucking bad code. Like, what is happening here?
I've
What?
actually never experienced this.
Really?
What? Every
It
time I
happens to me
open
fairly
it,
often.
download
It's
one
like
of
it's always like
13.
15 updates or something like
Yeah.
really similar.
Oh, well, yeah, it always says 1 of 18, but it just finishes in.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, that's
no.
true. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it's really disrupting my life, but like, fuck, man. Like,
I mean,
why are you downloading a 40 megabyte update every time I open this fucking thing? What is going on
when
here?
it completes like that, like almost instantaneously, my assumption is that it's not actually downloading that and reinstalling it. It's looking at what the last patch was, and then it says I've already applied it, and then just goes on its way. And they just don't feel compelled to like basically short circuit the UI portion.
I mean, okay, so it's fucking laziness probably is at the end of the day what's happening
mean,
there.
That's a massive part of development. Just
Laziness?
in general,
Yeah,
is like,
as I'm coming
is
to
it
find
actually going to like benefit? Is it a feature that the customer will ever see? If it's
Well, here's
not,
the thing.
it is super unlikely that you're going to work on it. And Nate,
I'm not gonna-
I appreciate that, Nate. That you.
I get this. I'm look. I am gonna endorse laziness at all turns. Pretty much, I think laziness it should be our collective goal as a society. Get to the point where we can just embrace laziness.
We shouldn't
However,
have to work.
yeah, I mean, ultimately, we got to go through a lot of bullshit, AI bullshit, to get to the point where.
However, but with
Just got to
pacemakers,
start
please
applying it to the way it should be applied and not take away the artistry.
Right.
and
Right,
do the
right.
menial
Like,
stuff.
like think about this. Star Trek is like this utopia. It's this amazing utopia where nobody has to work and you can just do whatever you want pretty much all the time. But to get
they're
there,
like appalled when they
Yeah,
come in places that don't like. And
Well,
I
I feel
like that. It's so ridiculous the idea that people would need to like do that kind of stuff.
well,
They're
so
like,
I
what?
feel like to get there, you still have to go through Blade Runner, where
Yeah.
everything looks like ass for hundreds of years until we start regulating AI and it starts to work for us rather than against us, all that shit.
Mhm.
But anyway, like I feel like
That's actually like most of development is that you break something. You can know that
You
something's
just
bad,
fail forward and fail
and
better.
it has to fail before somebody will fix it.
I get that, that's fine. Like Discord is owned by fucking Microsoft.
Is it really?
And it's been,
Mhm.
yeah, and it's been in existence for a long ass time, and it's ubiquitous. Pretty much anyone who uses video games, for example, and
Yeah.
does streaming of any kind, Discord is like the primary thing, and anyone who plays video games online with anybody
Short of
else,
being in the studio together. Yeah.
is primary. Do they not have any incentive to polish that shit up?
Okay, so
Probably
I would
not.
also remind you that Microsoft bought Skype, and
Correct.
at the time when it was like
They
the
deprecate.
most valuable, and look
Oh,
at
shit.
And
it's,
they got and they got their
so,
shit kicked in.
What's his name?
Microsoft is not a fantastic ambassador of key like software.
Microsoft,
Just owning Windows.
yeah, Microsoft is a legacy company peddling a legacy operating system that is basically you know what Microsoft is. Microsoft is enterprise rent-a-car. It's Nissan. Nissan right now, car maker, they make cars specifically to sell to enterprise rent-a-car fleets. Nobody goes and buys a Nissan because that's the car you want. You buy that car because you run enterprise rent-a-car and you need a car that's not going to break down and that is unobjectionable to everyone else in the world. That's Windows.
Well,
Windows-
it's really funny too because it's like on servers you don't run Windows, or at least you try.
Right.
You desperately try
You run
not
Linux.
to. But like, if
Yeah.
you want your like employees to be able to use a computer,
What the?
you
Whoa!
basically have to get them
Cat
Windows.
friend.
Right.
Can you imagine like an entire
Oh,
office that was
shit.
like, we're running Ubuntu, like
That would be-
everybody's coming in the
I
office
personally-
today.
I personally would love it, but yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I would too. But trying to
most
get
people would suck at it.
Karen,
Oh shit!
you know, to
Oh, fuck,
use
okay.
Ubuntu, I can't
Oh.
even imagine.
This is the fucking Guardian in Ulasil.
Yeah, it's fucking sick, man. Yeah, that's right. It's like the most forgotten boss in Dark Souls.
Yeah, it really is. Cause like it's super cool.
It
It's a
happens
good
right
boss,
away.
solid boss. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, because it happens right away as soon as you get to Usopp, and everybody's in a hurry to get to
Artorias.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's the same boss. But yeah, I agree, Max, that I would love to run Linux. I would love to work on Linux in my day-to-day job because I fucking hate Windows with a passion. I will tell you, I recently, after about 10, 15 years, switched back to Mac. I'm gonna let you know, as someone who edits photos and does creative work.
Well, yeah, they're good for that.
Holy shit, it is life-changing.
Mac
they
is
are
like
good
the
for
same
that.
problem though of Windows, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not
So
the.
here's the reason
a
why
more
going back
niche
to Mac is
degree.
good. Here's the reason.
I just mean the way they abuse their platform, not like
No,
some
no,
of the
no.
other
I am
pieces.
not. Don't get me wrong. I am not. I think we talked about this before. I am not a stand for Apple. In fact, I generally hate Apple too because they're a fucking corporation, and they also do that proprietary like ecosystem bullshit that I cannot stand. Like, get out of here with
Yeah,
that.
they're worse than Microsoft. As
I
far as that
am
goes.
not.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
they are up their own
I'm
asses
not
about their
an
brand.
apologist. Don't get me wrong, internet. I am not an apologist for Apple. The reason why I love being in Apple is two things. One, Microsoft Windows enforces telemetry and ads in your fucking core of your operating system that you cannot get away from no matter what you do. Even if you are doing like special scripts and shit and registry updates, you cannot actually eliminate that shit from your
Ads. I'm not. I know about the telemetry, but I'm not.
Yeah,
What do you mean by ads?
they will push ads like in the weather app, for example.
Oh,
It's basically
yeah,
just
okay.
it's just MSNBC homepage is the fucking
I
weather,
just don't use any.
right? And that's every other native app on that system has AdSense basically built into it. So
Yeah,
that's
I
one
don't
thing
use
to
any
think
of
of.
that, so that makes sense.
That is one thing, but the second thing that I can't stand about Windows in general, well, I guess there's a lot of things, but they also enforce. The problem with Windows really is actually Intel and AMD. It's that their chipsets don't operate the same. They are not as efficient as the new Apple Silicon. Now, here's the thing about people who aren't into to Apple Silicon, the M chips, the ARM chips, basically, the real game changer there, and this thing people don't understand, is that the game changer is that you can get the exact same amount of power on battery on laptops and other portable devices as you get when you're plugged into the mains, which is not true on any AMD or Intel laptop. And so basically when you pay $2,000 for your new laptop that's based on Intel or AMD that's running Windows, what you're really paying for is a mobile desktop, not an actual laptop that you get full power on battery. That's why when you have it on battery, it runs like dog shit. It's because the TDP is about like 50 watts, and you're getting about half that when it's on battery because Intel and AMD cannot run on it less than that. You will not get all that power. So, FYI, anybody out there, that's why Apple Silicon is better, and that's why Windows sucks because it has to run on Intel and AMD. There you go. Yeah, has to. Doesn't have to go out.
I was joking to one of my friends at LCS about how, and this was before like they had come out with their chips, that at some point we'll just have like a brick of computing. Like basically just like literally like all of the memory.
One solid state.
Most
computer.
of your storage, yeah, just like on one. And I was, we were joking about it, and I was talking about like, actually building a cube, and he's like, yeah, that'd be shitty, cooling. And then Apple's thing came out, and I was like, dude, that's my joke. Like, that's just. I mean, it's not a cube; it's flat, so they could get more surface area for cooling.
You kind of have cubes. They've got the Apple Studio, and they've got the Mac Mini. That's basically the same thing.
But you know how, like, in like a bunch of sci-fis, they'll have like a blue cube or something like that. That's like, oh, this is the compute cube or something.
Yeah.
That's what I was joking about. I'm like, they're actually gonna have the compute cube, and Apple basically does.
Again, this is what I like about Apple, because you get what you fucking pay for it. Secondarily, the last thing that I don't like about Windows is that every fucking time I come back to Windows, it's different than when I left it. Because there's a new update, and because the new update, it breaks half my apps, like it runs like shit for Adobe. Lightroom and like other creative apps like that. And it's like every time I come back, man, my game
goddamn.
suddenly my game controller doesn't work. Like, why? Like, I gotta update my drivers manually because it forced updates that I didn't want to make in the first place. Also, Windows 11 slows down your games, dog. Like,
Yeah.
FYI for people who don't know, Windows 11
So
also.
I'm trying not to make the leap until I absolutely have to.
Yeah, Windows 10 will run your video games faster. Windows 11 slows down your video games. Just straight up. In fact, Steam OS will and their translation layer will run games generally faster than Windows will, even through a translation, because Windows is so fucking bloated. Like, come on, man! They charge $260 for that shit.
Yeah, Proton is pretty crazy.
Yeah, Proton is amazing. More of that shit, please. Anyway, that's my spiel.
That's your podium.
My podium. And by the way, fucking Discord, get your shit together. Stop updating every time I open this game.
Well, that's how we got on this.
At least how we got on this. Hit Discord, please.
Yeah, the way their app actually works is pretty interesting because it's an Electron app. It's basically a
Oh my
Chrome
God.
browser that is disguised as a window.
It's like so many things.
So you should be able to pull up the Chrome development tab in it. I don't know like what flags they have to like make it so that you can't turn it on, but like basically
Right, so we
every
have-
Electron app is just a Chrome development.
So we have Electron apps and we have a Proton translation layer.
Yes.
And
What about
if we
Neutron?
touch,
Why are we getting Neutron?
there's fusion and everything explodes.
Yeah, where's the neutron
why-
layer?
What is we
Well,
need?
see, that's you have to get past the quark layer to get to that.
Justice for Jimmy. Jimmy Neutron Drew.
Yeah.
Wink.
Got a blast.
I got it.
What croissant?
They should have put him in Expedition 33.
I hear that's
Did I
good.
hear-
Have you guys all played that yet?
I've heard it's
I've been
great.
playing it.
I will
What's it
probably
about?
never play it. I
Damn it.
think this is just from afar. I think it's in. Mag, you probably know better than I do, but I think it's about like there's this mysterious paintress. There's like this with the overarching
She is fucking huge.
villain. He's the
She's
antagonist,
fucking bigger than Tiamat.
and it's causing people to like at certain ages to disappear or die, whatever the case is. I don't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's been counting down a number, and they can see it off on the horizon when she changes it. And it's like, you are really far away, and you can still see it.
And so they're like sending out expeditions that are people like their numbers coming up, like it's going to be 34 next and it's going to be 33 next.
And everybody who is that age, or I guess
Yeah.
we were discussing this.
Around
Like,
this-
obviously, not all these people are 34 on that day, or 33 on that day. So it must be that like everybody who would turn 34 that year, or something like that, gets
They go on the
wrecked.
expedition
Oh, so
into.
we still don't know?
Well, I don't know about the end. I don't know. I haven't seen that.
They
but
just
I-
don't make it very clear how that functions, but like it doesn't make a lot of sense otherwise.
but what they're doing functionally, I guess, is like they're going into this realm.
hitboxes.
I don't know how else to call it. They're like investigating what is going on. They're trying to solve the problem, kind of blindly. But because they don't have a lot to lose, because they're about to die anyway, so they go in and like they investigate what the hell is going on in this world and try to, I guess, fight the paintress and the things that are causing
Yeah,
each other.
they're trying to defeat the Paintress. So their world, this is Paris.
Fuck, what
and-
is
but
the
it has
fucking
been, like,
hitbox for this damn cat?
Something
I mean, you've also
happened
got-
that basically
What?
took Paris and dumped it into this world.
Yeah.
And when that happened, like, the city was just kind of ripped up and then dumped in the middle of the water in a
Yeah.
certain area. And they can see the Paintress off in the distance, and it started at 100. So I'm actually assuming that, like,
It's a countdown?
It doesn't tell us. Yeah, it counts down. Like, they're probably, given their technology level, probably nobody was 100. So it probably took them a few years to really what that countdown
to
was
really
doing.
affect people.
Yeah. Like, unless you have, like, a 90-year-old or something. Because we're talking,
Yeah.
like,
And even then,
Well,
like,
those
okay, all the
Yeah.
90-year-olds suddenly
100s,
died. Well, they're all fucking 90, so, like,
Well,
you know.
you do like turn to ash, so
Oh, there's that.
yeah, it's a pretty conspicuous death, like the worst case of like ashing I've ever seen. You know, so
Yeah.
It's actually kind of an interesting concept. It's not fully fleshed out, at least from what I've seen. They're probably holding some things back, like J.J. Abrams' Black Box style, so they can have a sequel and shit. So I imagine there's probably more to come. I will say, the art looks kind of sick. The art looks
as far as
amazing.
we know, you do defeat the painters.
Is there actually a conclusion? Interesting. Okay. I mean, there may actually still be. Yeah, I mean, there may still be room. There may still be room narratively. I'm sure they will do a sequel with this one way or another. But yeah, the art looks great. In fact, as far as like turn-based gameplay goes, it's probably the closest I would ever get to being interested because there's actually an active parry system that looks kind of neat. But like other than that, it's not for me because of the turn-based part of it. But the parry system does look cool. I can get down on that.
It's got fucking I-beams.
It does, man. Why is his face on fire?
I don't know, but that's where he got infested. Like, they all went to his face.
Doesn't look comfortable. Oh my god, that animation of that lunge at you isn't great. It looks a little bit.
He kind of reminds me of the first boss from the DLC for Dark Souls 1.
That's what we
So,
said.
like,
That's what we said earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, so good to know I have unlocked the rest of his moveset, but holy shit. Like, man. Like, just some of the hitboxes, especially for his, like, basic swipe, I'm, like, behind his opposite shoulder, and his model will, like, will pivot on the spot.
And he has
and
wicked
curl
tracking.
around, and, yeah. Like, it's nuts.
His tracking is crazy.
Hey,
Absolutely nuts.
banana pila.
Try that
man.
again. Well, you can say their name.
Yeah, it's on the chat.
If you can't.
That's a mouthful, man,
Yeah.
but it's
Pila
memorable. And a pilapilith.
Wow, that was really good.
Patapon. Like the PSP game.
Yeah,
Didn't they do a sequel to Patapon? I think they
they
did.
did.
I think they just announced
them.
it like, recently, didn't they?
Pretty sure there
Oh,
was.
there was a
Patapon
couple on the
3.
PSP at least.
Yeah. Well, that's where it started, right? There
Oh.
wasn't.
Yeah.
Is there more Patapon?
Damn it.
I think there.
Probably.
The
Actually,
reason I think that is because I'm a kind of funny fan, so I know Greg Miller like loves Patapon. I think there was a moment where he was like over the moon about the sequel. I think that happened.
Yeah,
There
that
was.
sounds.
It was on the PSP, PlayStation 4,
Fuck.
Nintendo Switch.
damn.
Yeah, they.
and
PlayStation did a
Windows.
lot of good porting in like the 4 generation, if I recall.
Yeah, and there's a
Gravity
1
Rush.
and a 2.
Patapon.
The demo was fun. That and Loco Roco were really good. Like,
I think there's a sequel to that too, isn't there?
yeah, I'm pretty sure there is. That's a good game. I
Is
don't know
it?
if
What would you
but I
say
really like it.
your favorite generation of gaming is?
Ooh, that's tough.
I mean, okay, that's easy for me actually.
Yeah,
It's
I think
easy-
it'd be
it's
either
easy
super
one.
hard or super easy for you, Ian.
It's an easy one too.
I forget the numbers.
First is Super Nintendo, 16-bit.
Yeah.
The size of the Super Nintendo library is not comparable to like PlayStation 2, PlayStation 4, etc. There's obviously
Sure.
more.
The licensing
I think-
alone in those eras is nuts.
Right, but the hit rate and the level of
Yeah, the
quality
rate- yeah.
overall higher, I think, than any other generation. Like, so many games are amazing on the 16-bit era. And plus, you still have Sega, still
Oh,
killing
true.
it.
Yeah.
Like, just amazing stuff happening in that era. So, to me, it's 16-bit era is still the best. That said, I think it's hard to make an argument against the Nintendo Switch, and frankly, maybe even now Nintendo Switch 2, because you get so much of the 16-bit era and all the other eras on it, and it's handheld, and you get two of the greatest games of all time in the new Zelda series. I think if they could flesh out HD remakes of their full Mario library and their full Zelda library, like give me fucking HD Twilight Princess, please. That would be really hard to argue with for me. Like if you could give me all of those on one system, that would be god tier. So that's my answer. It's 16-bit first, and then Nintendo Switch and Switch 2, which I guess we can kind of consider one era. Because the Switch 2 is kind of like Switch Pro. So I'm going to cheat and call that one era. There you go. There's my answer.
All right.
What about you
Good
guys?
answer.
I mean, probably very similar. I mean, the 16-bit is what I was going to say as well, because, I mean, basically I gravitate towards those games anyways. Like, nowadays, I have a fucking ridiculous computer, so I can go back and play old 16-bit turn-based games, or, like, you know, stuff like that. Because also, that was, like,
God
the
damn
time
it.
that we got, like, a
Wow,
ton
better.
of, like, grid-based games with turns and stuff like that, because, you know, that allowed you to fit more in the processing power that
Yeah.
you had available.
I would say that
Also-
the form to function ratio kind of like hit a high in the 16
Yes,
to 32-bit
right?
era, where like, you know, it was limited, but they were able to really pull off some crazy shit with what they had.
Yeah.
Versus the
And
jump
also-
to 3D
Was
had a
rough.
lot of weird, rough, like. I mean,
It's a lot of
prior-
high points,
yeah,
but
a lot of
very
high points.
low.
But some of it was
very-
really weird.
It was really dog shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
totally.
not in a way that wasn't like just shovelware, because that every era has a shovelware.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just bad.
But
was
you
just,
got,
like,
like,
it wasn't
crazy
executed
stuff
well.
like,
We put a lot of time in
Rappa
but
and stuff
still,
like that, where you're like, is this just supposed to be, like, weird art, or is this a video game?
right.
Yeah.
It's almost avant-garde in some cases. Yeah, I mean, so SNES, even to this
It's like
day,
I'm playing a Picasso, basically.
the artwork from 16-bit is just so fucking good, man.
Yeah, it's clean.
True.
It
Yeah.
is.
I feel like
Just-
that's why a lot of people go back to pixel art.
Or even
Yeah.
that like pseudo 3D, like it's 2D, but like you know how Donkey Kong Rare
Yeah.
has like it was 2D, but it looked kind of 3D on top of a.
Or whatever that's
Yeah,
called.
It was like
the-
whatever. What is Age of
Yeah.
Empires 2?
Oh, I forget.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, think about it. That era of 16-bit, I think, also overlaps with like Doom and Doom 2, and like Wolfenstein 3D, and like great PC era also, right? So like, I know you can't really talk about generations for PC specifically, but I think that era is also PC kind of golden age, like fucking Myst, you know, Myst 2, and like that amazing stuff, Heretic.
That's a really
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Heretic's,
Heretic's
a
a
good
cool,
call.
yeah, great pull.
Hexen and shit, like amazing stuff happening in PC in that era also. That was like kind of the vanguard of 3D shit. So at the
Yeah.
same time, you get this
The
incredible,
openers.
formative 16-bit, 2D, side-scrolling, top-down kind of stuff. That is just
isometric is what I was trying to think of.
remarkable and kind of timeless and ageless. But also, you're getting revolutionary 3D stuff in the PC era at the same time, which to me is like that is the nexus of a great part of gaming ever. So to me, that's like 91, like 1991 to 1994, kind of doesn't get any better than that. But that might just be because I'm old. So, what do I know? But honestly, right now, it's hard to argue with right now, right? Because you still get all that shit.
Got him finally.
Nice.
Jeez.
That wasn't so
I'm sorry,
bad.
cat
There's
buddy.
a little bit of suffering in there, but
Yeah.
you figured it
Yeah.
out. That was what,
Had to do it.
15 tries, probably.
To rebuild. the
Dude, are those
Kakai
souls?
berries.
Is that the
Oh,
movie
Kakai
that you're
berries.
seeing? Those look
What?
like humanities.
Yeah, I mean, no,
Yeah.
humanity. Yeah, no, it's they're I guess the Kakai barrier is like the barrier between human and spirit world, and they're gonna like patch it back up. But my like cat buddy got infested by the humanity sprites, and
Oh no.
he got menaced.
Now we're in
Wow.
trouble.
The
Damn.
worst
Fucking
case
there
of
he is.
humanity sprites we've ever heard of.
Oh.
Oh, he's still
Oh,
alive.
so he's healed. There we go.
Yeah, I thought he said he was gonna have to
He
kill
got
him.
better.
Like, I was gonna have to kill him.
How close is this guy to a palico?
I know, right? He's actually a palico.
Yeah,
I
right?
mean, my Palico, unless I mess with
Although,
the settings,
is he
can't
dead
talk
though?
to
Is he
me.
gonna die?
No,
Oh.
don't let it happen. No!
Dude, oh, someone's
No.
gonna die.
Oh.
least- at
well,
least I
I
got
guess
him
at least he was
uninfested.
restored before it happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want him to like go on in that case, but
At times.
that's tough, man. That's tough.
You hate to see it.
Yeah. You hate to see it.
To continue that conversation, Nate. That's a
Oh,
really
All Might,
good
what's
thing.
up, All Might?
Good for me. I'm curious. We need to look up when like Rebel Assault came out on
Ah,
PC.
Rebel Assault on the DOS system.
Yeah, like that had to have been like
Or
90
X-Wing and versus TIE Fighter.
Exactly. Yeah,
Those
like
games
I'm
are
talking
great.
like Golden Age LucasArts, Lucas game. That I want to see.
Self-publishing, yeah.
I feel
Because like for
those.
me, that's when I was playing those games. I just don't know if that's actually when they came out. Like, did I come to those late? I don't know. I don't remember.
I feel like those are really heavily influenced by Star Fox, though.
Oh well, I mean, I think vice versa too. Like, I think both is probably the case.
Well, I think Star Fox is way earlier because of
So Star
Super
Fox was-
Nintendo.
That's right. So that would have been 91 to 94.
Yeah.
Actually, honestly, 91 to 97, to be honest. But it's because I think those games again were kind of like contemporaneous. They happened at the same time, so I think they probably influenced each other. But like, what was the one that was big on Nintendo 64? It was like
Rogue Squadron, right?
Rogue Squadron. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. First
That
Rogue
was
Squadron.
awesome. And that was 100% influenced by.
I think it peaked in the second one on the GameCube, and because I heard the third one was fine, just not the best.
That was
and-
definitely Star Fox coded. Like that was
Yeah.
Star Fox 100%.
Yeah. Oh, did you guys see the not Star Fox game I dropped in the video game chat on the Discord?
I think I did see it.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah, Wild
Let me
Blue
go take a
or
look.
whatever. It looks awesome, man. I want to play that game.
We're gonna get another Star Fox. Is that a defunct?
I don't
franchise?
know. I don't know if it's defunct. I think it's kind of getting the
Why do we think
the,
like
the
It's like
everybody,
the only Nintendo IP that they somehow managed to like kill.
everybody thinks the Wii U killed it because of the motion controls and shit? And the
I thought
second,
it was
GameCube
great. I thought it was
did.
fine.
yeah, hasn't Cameron played it on the channel, right? I remember
Yeah, we
it being
played it.
actually a great
Yeah.
game.
It was a
just
fun game. We did a playthrough.
Yeah, Zero. That was
Yeah,
during
Zero.
the.
I love that game.
Yeah.
It would be very hard, even with the controls, to jacked up to like destroy the original Star Fox 64. What gets me is their sequel, and I put that in quotes, the one that was on the GameCube, where like they basically just used Star Fox and like
Yeah, it was
It's
a
like-
dinosaur game, but
yeah, like I don't
Only-
understand like
yeah,
why you would do that.
IP recognition.
I just
Adventure
feel like-
Planet or whatever, right?
I feel like Zelda. I feel like that game Zero was kind
Why
of
is it
done
so
to
damn much?
in the same way that Skyward Sword was. It was just like memed to hell and back.
Yeah,
Because-
I don't think Skyward Sword deserves the hate that it has.
I agree. I completely agree.
I granted,
It's not a
Cameron
game,
and I will
but-
always fess up to having a very unique experience with it because we got it like 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time.
Because
Playing
yeah,
that game with no guide available
Oh,
to
yeah, I
you
forgot
is
about
super
that.
fun.
because I think by that time it was very late in the Wii generation, and most people had cracked Wii's. Like my Wii was cracked.
Yeah.
I got it early. Everybody got it early. And
We
like
got it out of like Norway or something. But we got
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought Cameron got it from GameStop.
no, he got the Wii from GameStop, but the actual like copy of Skyward Sword he got from somewhere
Oh.
else.
by the way, Nintendo, I allegedly had it cracked. I didn't.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. We didn't make any sort of like
Oh,
pirating
you said-
firmware, so please don't put us in prison for the rest of our lives, and then eventually
Yeah.
reduce that sentence to like
I don't know for sure if that's
30
actually
years.
not. I have no recollection of this, so I can't
Yeah.
really say.
I'm just saying we got our copy from somewhere else.
Yeah, we don't even know. Is
I don't
you know,
recall at this time. It's been.
But if you need somebody to snitch on,
I don't
them
think
so
we'll be
that you get
rebooting
a
that story
reduced
anytime
sentence,
soon, but you know,
I'll do it.
Oh shit!
that's
So-
not a case we're not familiar with.
Tell
Sorry,
me, if,
everybody.
tell me if you think I'm wrong about this. So, I think you, maybe uniquely among us, had a special affinity for GameCube. The
Me?
GameCube
Oh yeah,
era.
absolutely, I did.
You had one.
I had it toward the
We
end
had
of its
one
life
for a while.
cycle.
Yeah.
Toward the end of its life cycle, where it was still, I guess it was still a new console, like because the Wii came out when I had it, and
I mean,
like
that-
it's funny because I had it so late in the life cycle that I was like, oh, no one. In my head, I vividly remember thinking like, oh, I don't think anyone really plays GameCube games much anymore.
Right.
Like when new games would come out, I don't remember having one in mind for the GameCube. I remember being like, oh, now that I have a GameCube, I can rent all these games that I wasn't
see.
able to.
That was still back catalog for you even then. Like,
Yeah,
you were-
which is funny because like it wasn't that old at the time. Like now, it's like, oh, it's ancient. But
much
back then, it was like, oh no, that game came out like 6 months ago. But for
so
some
much
reason, I
of the
remember it feeling
regeneration- so much of the regeneration overlap with GameCube. Like, obviously, Twilight Princess was originally a GameCube game. It
Right.
came out on GameCube.
Yeah.
Oh shit! That thing one shot at me.
There's a lot of unsung. There's actually a streamer that I watch. She's going through a bunch of like she has like all the games on like a cracked emulator and just going through like all of them.
I totally miss the GameCube generation. That's one of the few Nintendo generations I just didn't own. I didn't own Nintendo 64 and I didn't own GameCube. I've owned every other Nintendo except those two. So I've gone back. Nintendo 64 fantastic, but as we talked about before, like it's got kind of a low floor. Like there's a lot of dog shit.
When you look at the full like list of games, like as a kid, those games seemed endless. But when you look at the like total
the
library now,
ones,
I'm like,
the
oh,
quality ones, yeah.
right.
Like
The quality
the
ones were
two.
really few and far between.
GameCube had everything like throughout its cycle. It was kind of crazy.
It was really good. Like GameCube is actually kind of like the Wii U, where the quality is actually it's not a lot, but what's there is amazing.
Even the stuff that's like their 6s and 7s out of 10s is one. There's more of them, like because looking at the title list for N64, there's not that. I remember it seemed endless, and there's not. The GameCube has a couple titles that are like a custom Robo. It's not everyone's jam, but if you really like that kind of like top-down like action arena battler, it's one of the best out there. But the problem with the GameCube is like, you know, those IPs didn't take off the same way that they do now, where it's like, oh, here's 3 more sequels.
Here's my
Like,
interesting thing about the GameCube is my recollection of that is that actually GameCube was the last Nintendo console that actually was kind of advanced hardware-wise. Like it actually was kind of powerful, right? Relative to the other rest of that generation. Surprisingly,
it kept up because the Xbox and PS2 at the time. Well, I think the other thing was more developers back then weren't like trying as hard to like design for the hardware. This is just me pulling this out of my ass, but it seemed back then like you'd have PS2 games that didn't look amazing, but graphics back then were like, it was back when like, you know, the early like late 90s when like graphics was like the biggest deal. And back then they were like, well, why don't we make more interesting shit? And both like PlayStation 2 and GameCube had a lot of really interesting titles. They took big swings on all of them, were great, but they had a lot more that wasn't just like, well, how realistic does it look? Because back then they were more like, yeah, we can get there, but we know how to make interesting stuff.
Because it was all stock hardware, like people came into to developing for it, being able to like leverage the knowledge they already had. So like even if you made something that wasn't exactly fantastic,
Jesus,
like
one slip up.
It was doing a lot of work for you still.
Yeah, that was I think a time like the movie Grandma's Boy surprisingly actually does a really good job of this.
I forgot about
because
that.
It comes in right at the like end of the Xbox original's lifetime, but they talk about like the palette swap thing. Like I don't know if you've ever seen that movie Max, but there's a part where they're working on you've seen that part where he's like, what if we just take the same model but change the color for the later enemies? Yeah, that kind of stuff was way more universal. Like you can still do that now in concept, but the like. There wasn't as much like engine or like, oh, are you building it on DLSS
to like change like a color on or something like that.
It was back then. It was like
I think of Bubble Bobble, like how like enemies would change colors and up the level.
Right,
like,
and that stuff carried over all the way up to that generation. I think right after that, with the Wii and Wii U, you started to see a lot more proprietary systems, a lot more like, oh, we're using Frostbite, we're using, you know,
all the way to World of Warcraft. Come on now.
Yeah. But the GameCube
used to this day on World of Warcraft.
I remember getting a GameCube specifically because the games that would get me to buy consoles back then were usually like JRPGs, especially for Nintendo consoles. And I really wanted Baten Kaitos. I didn't end up getting it, but I rented it a couple times. But I remember that was the GameCube I got that came with Metroid Prime, and I started playing it because it was available, and then realized, oh shit. This game is really good, and actually half the stuff I rented for the GameCube was incredible. Like,
dude, so you just gave me another reason why that generation of SNES and like 91 to 94 era is still the best, is because you could also, the access that you had to like every game that was meaningful at the time, fucking Blockbuster, man.
Right.
You did everything all the time for like a weekend.
The stuff that was getting critical appraise was not like, you know, a $500 paywall with all this extra stuff. I mean, it still costs money, but yeah, back then it was like, well, once you have the console, that's it. You're good to go.
You had access to everything. Like, we didn't own a lot of...
Hello figured out how to sell microtransactions. Map packs?
Well, yeah, I didn't have those either. But like...
Well, the earliest,
famously, back in those days, most people didn't own a lot of games. Like, you owned like 5 games in your whole library. But you still played almost everything that came out on the system because you just rented it from fucking Blockbuster. Like, you got to play everything. You can't do
renting made that stuff easier. The other thing I think that helps was, like especially the cartridge days kind of enforced this. But nowadays, like it's not like a complaining. I'm not like saying back in my day it was better, but nowadays there are way more worries about day 1 or day 0 patches, graphics issues, stuff being rushed because of capitalism. Back then it was way more like when you rented Mario Brothers or Super Smash Brothers Melee, you knew it was going to work and it was the same experience every time. And part of that is
Mario Brothers.
Yeah, part of that is the kid glasses being on, because when you're a kid that stuff wasn't around. But part of it is because those games legitimately do run the same way every single time. So it was so much easier. Like Nate would remember this. We rented Super Mario 64 before we ever owned it. At least like it felt like 10 times, maybe like 6.
Damn.
I mean, I do feel like you're forgetting the blowing into the cartridge constantly.
Right, and so that was the failure for the actual like the turning on of it. But the game experience wasn't a thing where like as adults now we're like, oh, the anti-aliasing is off.
Don't just like. I mean, you can take a solid state drive out of your machine and start smashing against things. It'll work.
But back then, like the number of errors you had was blowing on the cartridge, and once it works, it works. It wasn't like, oh, here's 16. Yeah, here's 16 different things you have to worry about. And the GameCube was the perfect, like you're saying, Ian, it was like, the diversity of games was incredible. Not every game was good, but renting allowed you to try out a bunch of them. So I played dozens. Geist is still one of my favorite GameCube games, and that game sucks by all modern standards. But literally, like some of the mechanics in those games and GameCube games are really good. Like Kirby's Air Ride is getting that sequel now because the GameCube game was so memorable. Not even for the core racing, but for one specific mini game.
I mean,
yeah,
Nintendo quality just never stopped.
Right, and even back then, the second party stuff was still like, oh, it's people who have done stuff for us before. Like, you have like your Pikmin, you've got your Smash Brothers and stuff, but even like some of the ports, even licensed games back then were still mostly not great, but there are a couple that people remember very well, like the SpongeBob game people love.
By the way, are you surprised we didn't get like Doom ported to like the GameCube officially?
So Doom was on the N64.
Yeah, Doom.
And so was StarCraft. So another crazy thing. A lot of ports back then were. No, but the fact that it runs like Doom on a TI-83.
Hey, it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I remember we rented that a couple times. That was another good one. But like that's the kind of stuff that Nintendo back then was like, yeah. R&D 1 was doing Luigi's Mansion and some weird stuff, but you'd also get like a lot of IPs who were like, oh, you had a game on the N64, let's go ahead and make one for the GameCube, like F-Zero or Wave Racer or...
I have to point this out.
Wave Racer.
I have to point this out. You guys remember we started this stream, and you guys were making fun of me because my wife abandoned me.
I didn't abandon you. I'm
She's
here.
in the chat, man.
I assume she's here because
I saw her
you
walking
said
just a little while ago.
Yeah, she heard you.
That she missed me, right? And she just needed...
Sure, that's what it was.
I'm sure that's what it is. Let's not ask her.
It wasn't the dogs.
Don't confirm or
I
deny
jumped in so that Kona could whine at me.
I see. Perfect.
That sounds good. Hi, Kona girl.
Yeah, she's
I hear
sitting here with
you
me.
two are best buds right now, which is making me very happy.
Obviously.
Wait, Kona?
Yeah. She's in town.
Oh, nice.
Remember Sheree left
Yeah, I
me?
didn't figure you care enough to see me, Thomas.
No, you're fine. My mom texted me earlier saying you were in town.
Yeah.
Cherie, did she tell you about Kona's treat chair
No.
in the living room? So, her brother is staying with her. My mom's
Andy.
brother is
He's here
staying
too.
with her, and he has an association with Kona and that chair, where every time he sits in that chair, Kona will go up to him in the chair and sit. Because he has given her treats from that specific chair so many times that if you go there, there's a good chance that Kona will come around because she expects, oh, someone's sitting in the treat chair, it's time for treats.
We need to set
I love
up
that.
for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Chair.
I'm sitting in my treat chair. It's called my computer chair.
We need that. We need Sheree in our house. We need a treat chair where I go up to it and I get treated.
Sit in front of a vending machine.
Damn it.
I don't think that works that way.
And set in the damn pool of yokai crap.
It doesn't mean it can't. You can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it works that way for Zuzu. She gets her stupid button. She gets what it is.
Yeah. Do you guys have any good dog interaction stories between Zuzu and Dabney?
I mean, Zuzu almost broke Dabney, so that's great.
Oh no.
Yes,
Dabney?
did.
How is that possible?
So, I mean,
Well, she's
Dabney...
15 now.
She really?
Yeah.
She's actually remarkably doing remarkably well.
Yeah.
I mean, doing remarkably well for a 10-year-old dog, and a 15-year-old dog.
Yeah,
But
she's
that
really
said,
doing great.
Zuzu is also a fucking psychopath. So
She is.
he wrestles with Dabney, and Dabney doesn't stop wrestling, and Dabney pulled a muscle in her neck, apparently, maybe a month or two ago, and like had to be down for the count for a good week or so while we nursed her back to health, but she was injured for a while because Zuzu is crazy. He's a crazy fucking animal.
Well, Dabney's not going to say no. Dabney's
that's the
going to match
problem.
the energy.
Dabney generally is still very healthy and still does want to run around and will run around. And she shouldn't, because she will get hurt. And then she got hurt because Zuzu is an evil creature who does not care for the well-being of my dog.
She's not
Damn.
evil. She is psycho.
You
Can
heard it here
confirm
first.
she is psycho.
Doesn't
Not
care
evil,
for the
though.
well-being of her sister, my dog. She needs to be
Can't believe it.
strongly.
It is not fair.
I'm just glad there's no favoritism with these
No,
dogs.
none whatsoever. No,
That there's bipartisan support for these dogs.
we love them all equally.
There is bipartisan support. I mean, both of us were sleeping on that couch for a couple of days because at first we weren't really sure what was going on with Dabney.
I agree. We love them both equally. Devon's the best.
Shut up. Thank you, Kona.
Huskies win. Huskies win every place. Huskies win every place. They're the champions.
Please, Michael, I love all of my children equally. I don't much care for Joe.
Correct.
I love whichever one is letting me love on them the most.
Oh, no.
That's that rule of thumb.
Damn, you almost
I
blew
was so close.
those.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this is like one of the upgraded Oni guys, but his crystal's a different color. What's the like? Does he have a different moveset?
No,
What's
he's
his
got the
deal?
same moveset as he usually does. He's just ridiculously overpowered. Like
Oh, wow.
if he hits me at all, he gets a solid hit on me. I am
Oh.
dead.
You know what it is? He doesn't have any stagger. Look at that.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
done.
Well,
I think you just
will
have to-
eventually get stagger, but I have to have my my
Right.
partner come in.
I mean, honestly, I would say time around it. Like, expect to not stagger him, so don't go in too hard. Just 1,000 pets him.
I mean, you pretty much had him beat. You just
yeah.
Yeah,
choked.
you got it.
Yeah, basically.
I think it's the. I had that expectation of stagger when I play Elden Ring, even with the claws, which don't have a lot of buildup. I've learned now that if I fight like stone stuff, I'm just like, okay, 2 hits, get out,
Who's
even if you
this?
have an extra second.
Who's this badass that's helping you in this fight?
I don't know.
Yeah,
He
who is
shows
this
up
guy?
at like the quarter mark.
You're not
And
summoning.
then,
He just shows up.
I'm not. Yeah, he just shows up. I didn't summon him, but he keeps coming. He does a lot of stagger damage, so I'm fine with it.
It doesn't seem like you could stop it if you wanted to. So.
He's your proto man. He's just gonna
Fuck,
come.
what?
Holy sh! Whoa!
Backhanded.
That
The
shit hit
actual
you from
hit?
across the room. What
Yeah,
happened there?
I don't know, man.
He threw that before he came in the room.
The,
Yeah, he literally
yeah.
did. I was like, that should have ended like a couple feet in front of your
Yeah,
face,
that's-
but not hit you.
The effects grazed me. Not even the attack. The visual effects
Yeah.
grazed me, and it killed me.
We got backhanded in another realm. Deleted.
We talk about the Silk Song announcement on this. I know we talked
no,
about
we have
Gamescom.
not. That's
No,
looking
but
great.
the OG is on sale
Yeah,
right
it
now.
looks good. I need to get back to that. Silk Song, I will say, for as much as I was like, I like the OG from what I played. I wasn't like hyped about Silk Song. I was like, it'll come out like Half-Life 3 will. Watching just that little couple of seconds of the trailer, I was like, man, I want to play Hollow Knight again.
Oh, so Tom, I was thinking about this. I actually was surprised to learn that you actually hadn't. Here, first of all, Hollow Knight's a big ass game, so I'm never surprised.
Yeah, it is. It's much bigger than I thought. Yeah.
It's also hard to get to the end because it is like the most Metroidvania of the Metroidvanias. It's like it
And
does not.
Yeah.
also, it feels like a game that was made during the time period you're talking about.
It does actually. Yes.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
Does not hold your hand. So in that regard, like it doesn't surprise me that you didn't finish. But the reason why I played it in the first place is because you evangelized it. Like you.
Oh,
I didn't
yeah, no,
know
it's amazing.
You mentioned it.
That is
So,
a game that I think everyone who has any interest in any kind of like Metroidvania, if not a side scroller, should at least try it for the atmosphere and for the like. would say the gameplay.
Fuck
Like,
it.
there's a lot of interesting
Damn it.
stuff with the nail.
Yeah.
I
But-
heard you're running for the local school board with a mission to make sure that children play that game.
Yeah, exactly.
I would
Even if
co-sign.
they're
Adding it to their curriculum.
I would co-sign it. Better than Old Man in the Sea.
way more exciting than that. It's the entire inverse of that book.
Shit.
Damn.
What class would you add it to?
I mean,
Adding this to English with the
legitimately, it would have to be like a games literacy or something. Like, you know how some college
I guess you
classes
probably
do
could
it.
do something like that, couldn't you?
Well, yeah, because it's an interactive medium now. There are some schools that do it.
No, I legitimately mean like enough people
God
like
damn it.
socialize via games nowadays that maybe
Get
the
it.
concept of a game
Get hit,
literacy
get dead.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a thing.
Don't get it.
I think it should be.
I'm
Dude.
not saying that that's like fantastic. I'm just saying that we're like maybe we are at that point as a society where like you know
At least as an elective, yeah. You know, obviously not the core
Like-
curriculum, but yeah.
board games like you know on their own, but like there's some mechanics in like various games that
Yeah.
are shared like first-person shooters, and I've seen people pick up a first-person shooter and who like Hannah for example, and it's like they don't know what to do.
Yeah. No, it's
So it
a
would be funny like
topic I'm
making
always interested
people
in.
play like Doom and being like, yes, there you go. This is how you. This is inverted control.
yeah.
This is exverted control.
Start with Pong, work your way up.
Yeah, there you go.
Pong's great, by the way. Look at this
is.
monster hunter ass sword. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm just getting back to my roots, man.
Fuck me.
Ian sees anything slightly katana shaped, and he's like, man,
I like the katana, man. I'm a fan of the katana.
I think it's the blue, it's the electrified fur is what it is, because that is very Monster Hunter.
That
I used
and
my
the-
swing.
other one that's so anime huge. Like, get the fuck out of here with that.
So I think Ian, you should compare this sword to the sword that Sephiroth uses in Final Fantasy VII,
Oh,
because
yeah,
that to me is
Masamune.
way more anime. Because this is actually based on a real.
I could see this. I could see
Weapon.
a human being lifting this at some point. Yes, I could see that. Yes, like,
Oh yeah, but like the
Well, I
Sephiroth sword is
wasn't,
like a
like-
sword that is not like this. Understands it has a longer handle because it knows it has a longer blade. Sephiroth's sword is literally like the most anime. Like guy watched The Matrix once and is like, oh, I gotta have
Well,
this.
Sephiroth's sword is like he wanted something that could like the horse slaying swords, but
He
instead
only wanted to
he's
use
like,
it one-handedly.
I need
Yeah.
one for a main character.
so Tom, you nailed it. My no franchise is more subject to my derision than Final Fantasy.
Maybe Kingdom Hearts, but only
Yeah,
because
that's,
it
that's
is.
fair. Oh, yeah, Kingdom Hearts is like the most distilled of that. 100%.
I mean, I'm gonna put those in the same.
Yes, yeah.
I understand that it's not Final Fantasy, but like it might as
Nomura's
well be.
well, Nomura used to work on Final Fantasy before he designed the
Well,
characters
Square
with
Enix,
zippers.
so, which is
Yeah.
still Final
Yeah,
Fantasy.
yeah, I know. I'm just saying that like the only thing that's not Final Fantasy about it is the title.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
So,
literally.
yes.
I mean, there's
Like if
Both-
we made a game that had Mario and Luigi,
Yeah, when I
we
say,
would say
that
it's Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, you're 100% right. When I say that I have derision for Final Fantasy, I absolutely 100% include Sora in that shit. Like, you know, like
Mickey
look,
Mouse.
I know it's a matter of taste. I'm not saying those games suck or like don't play those games. I'm just saying like you
It
guys.
sounds like we have our next Torture Tuesday game.
like,
Ooh, man.
You guys made
Make
me
Ian
play
play it.
it. And like I didn't enjoy that either.
the torture of that though wouldn't be the gameplay. I think Ian would do fine with the gameplay because it's not turn-based. It is just
That's true.
a menu
Yeah,
with that. The
you really
torture
want-
would be the cutscenes.
We should make you play
The
Nier
story.
Automaton if
If
you
you-
haven't played it
Gee,
first.
I don't
Because
like
I
that.
think you'd actually like it.
Yeah, I think I probably would.
there are
Play.
cutscenes. There's dialogue in that you would probably groan at, but the actual
Yeah.
gameplay is pretty fucking cool.
I mean,
that
that's
game
every-
is very literal.
Japanese game, in my opinion.
I could
Like,
get down on TV, right?
I like anime, but that doesn't
It's a hack
mean
and
that I
slash
don't
game
groan
that
at
does
it.
have a little bit more like it takes the Devil May Cry formula, but makes it a little bit more like tolerable for people that
I
don't
could totally
play the
enjoy a lot
combo.
of Nier Automata.
Yeah.
I could absolutely enjoy it.
I mean,
The
the
weapons in
coolest
Nier
thing
Automata
about-
are cool, and the story in the story of the weapons. As you use weapons, they all have like these little bits of text, kind of like Destiny. I think had weapons that did that.
They did.
The storytelling in Nier for the side stuff is very Dark Souls. It's very like, oh, okay.
I'm convinced Nier Automata and other Nier games, they
Son
would
of a
not,
bitch! What?
they would not ever be my favorites. but I would never have derision for them. Like I would absolutely enjoy that.
There's
Right?
elements of those games I think you would like. Maybe not the whole
Absolutely.
thing, but there's parts of those games that I think you'd see and think like, this is something I could use in another game.
Wow.
Oh.
I mean, one of my
Went for
favorite
the
things about
dogs.
Nier Automaton is
They didn't move a
the
bit.
chips that they let you install, and the fact
Yeah.
that they made
Chips are cool.
chips that are for people like me who cannot handle the like combat. There are chips that you can install that perfectly dodge, perfectly attack, and perfect parry
that's
for you. So essentially, it's like I just want to go through and watch all the cutscenes, but I want to do that while
Yeah.
like
It's
LARPing as
customized.
this
It's
character.
adaptive
You want to look cool.
difficulty.
You want to do cool shit. You want to like be able to participate. Do
Yeah,
fun.
Right.
I get it.
Exactly.
And you can do it on any difficulty.
And,
So
like,
it's like not a. It's
I
not like
could
a
go
adaptable
watch
menu,
videos
but
on
it's there.
YouTube, but like, I don't know, like if you guys have ever watched like one of those videos that's all the cutscenes in the game, but you're like,
Yeah,
they're
compilations.
disjointed because you're like, well, I didn't fight like all the trash on the way to get here, so I don't really know like what my character was doing in the meantime.
Yeah.
How did you earn it?
Yeah, exactly. And even though like 2B is like basically just butchering
Son of a
everything
bitch.
and
Son of a
like
bitch.
This is a final
abusing
boss.
invincibility frames.
This is a side mission too. I'm stubborn now.
I think this is the final boss of the game, Nate. This is the hardest
Totally.
it gets.
You know it.
Game's over after this.
But yeah,
I agree. I think I could totally get down on Nier.
It was the kind of thing that I really liked just because I got to experience the game, but I got to experience the journey as well. Even though
Son
without
of a bitch.
without the frustration of being like my hands shake too much for me to like feasibly handle some of these situations.
I get that. I think that.
So, I mean,
like,
that was really cool to see a game do that. And actually, Expedition 33 does something very similar. You can't turn on auto parrying, but the automatically doing the quick time for your spells exists. And I appreciate that because like it takes a lot of load off only having to like be ready for one part of the game essentially.
Yeah. Well, look, I am absolutely an advocate for as much fucking accessibility as you can cram into a game. I do not care about like difficulty and shit. Like, to me, easy settings if you can, 100%. And I think that's a legitimate criticism of Dark Souls games and Sekiro and shit. Make it possible for other people to play those games. Like, there's so much to enjoy in Sekiro. I think it sucks that so many people get locked out of it from a skill-based standpoint. Sekiro can be enjoyable without like being like the hardest fucking thing in the world. So like, let's make that accessible to people. That said, like, I will always criticize fucking Final Fantasy and shit like that for the artwork because I think the artwork is silly and dumb. I also, someone needs to explain to me how Final Fantasy is widely acknowledged by a lot of fans of Final Fantasy that the gameplay is not always like preeminent. It's not the most important thing. Like they like it for the story. And I think the story is kind of dopey as fuck.
They've jumped the shark quite a bit to my understanding, in more recent ones.
Okay. You know what it is? Not the story. It's the story.
I started on one that, because I started in 13, and my understanding is before 13, the stories were either pretty good or really good.
So this is the thing. Like, this is
And
an important distinction. We actually touched on this, I think, in the last stream. But like, my problem with Final Fantasy story actually isn't the story itself. The story is fine. The story might even be good. I think the storytelling is kind of
great.
whack. The storytelling is kind of whack. Like, if you watch like, I've watched Let's Plays of the remakes, like Rebirth and all that shit. Man, it is so anime cringy the way that they tell the story that it makes me not care about the story. It makes me not want to listen anymore or watch it.
I think it's the angst factor
my God,
for sure,
that's
and that's
why-
more Kingdom Hearts than it is the other Final Fantasies. But there's this like, well, the same reason like with the diversion from anime, right? It's the not even like the shonen, even like the more serious stuff. Like Cowboy Bebop has an element of cool, but even that has tropes and dialogue elements that are found in other types of anime that are, whether it's made for school age children, whether it's made for like full on adults. There's kind of this weird like, it's a tone, it's a pacing because Japanese storytelling is different, but also it is the like animation like anime is like a specific term over there. It's not just like cartoon or animation. It's a specific
It's a
like
medium choice.
middle ground. Yeah, it's a medium choice that has like its history of certain tropes and ideas that get played on all the time, but they have like that through line that I think that's really hard. Like for people that aren't in anime, like it's really hard to get into. And I don't blame them. Like it is like it's a different. There's an attitude to it. It's really hard to describe.
Cultural barrier for me.
We got into it at a really different time as well. Like, because you and me and Nate would be like, oh,
Dragon Ball
Cowboy
Z was
Bebop,
an entry point for most people.
What was the other one? I mean, there were a bunch of them that were more like. I could see people who aren't into anime watching these as well. Like
that's how Dragon Ball Z got a lot of people into it.
Particularly Cowboy Bebop is the one I think of.
Yeah, Cowboy Bebop was like
just because
one of the
like,
ones.
how do I say it? Like, it felt like they weren't making it for like kids. It was more
it was
for
adult.
a mature audience.
Yeah, and it wasn't so uncannily cartoonish.
Like I felt like the characters are either believable
Reasonable?
or somewhat believable. Like, you know, they seem to have real motivations.
Well, this is a good point. So, I've fairly recently, been trying to get into like Studio Ghibli. Ghibli? What do you
Yeah,
use there
Ghibli.
for?
Yeah, good choices.
That's a choice, yeah.
I've been trying to do that, and I've had a lot of people, not just you, Nate, but like a lot of people tell me that like if you don't like anime, try Studio Ghibli, and that will be maybe a good entree to like sophisticated, more mature anime. And I think overall, that's
Got
true.
it.
I think it actually is. Hey, congratulations!
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's actually true. I think in terms of like on the spectrum of anime, Studio Ghibli is more my home than anywhere else, except for like the Castlevanias and stuff that I really like.
I think they design anime like Disney does, and like you and me could watch a Disney movie despite our age.
Yes,
You know.
that's the thing. So like Studio Ghibli,
So like even though I think they target a younger audience, they still make it good enough that like we can watch it and not feel like we are.
And,
there's like something disassociative with it, you know, like not connecting.
I'm watching Studio Ghibli, and like I'm absolutely pulling things out of there that I think are really good and like I value, and I think they're actually really well done. But there's still that core, and so I think part of what you guys were talking about before. There's this core of just anime style of storytelling.
It's like a suspension of disbelief almost, where it's like a style of storytelling where it's like I don't see myself. It's not like I'm gonna go out and dress like Naruto just because I watch this. But there's like even for like going back and watching old shonen like that, it's kind of like I can watch it because I know the tropes, but also because like the self-identification that a lot of kids and teenagers do when you first watch it is very strong, and it's like designed for that. But as an adult, not so much.
Yeah, you know what it's like for me? I've discovered is like Studio Ghibli. I will acknowledge is like really sophisticated, good anime. Like that, if you're looking for good anime, Studio Ghibli is the way to do it.
Right, animation, story, expression, all that. Yeah.
And they're trying really hard, and they're being sophisticated. They have a point to make. They've got a cause. They've got a method, right? That's hammered out and it like makes sense and it's sophisticated and it's meaningful. For me, though, it's almost like musicals or opera where I can watch it.
Bingo. Yeah.
The story can be about whatever, but the method of delivery is just not your style.
Exactly right. It's not the story.
Yeah,
it's the
I get that.
I can appreciate the art and I can say like this is really well done and really good. But the storytelling for me, the way that they're doing, the method by which they're telling the story, just is not hitting for me, and it's not for me. So I don't know that I'll ever get into it. Like I'll be able to appreciate it just like opera. I'll just never go out of my way to want to consume it. You know what I mean? Like it's not for me. It's not my...
I get it.
I feel that about musicals all the time. I literally was describing this to somebody the other day. I was like, I get why people love show tunes. I get the community and culture around it. The problem is like that attitude. Every time you hear them go into song, you know, oh, this is a musical song.
Yeah, it's not for me.
It has that tweeness of like, okay, I understand, like, and I'm sure like it's, you know, well composed, written, whatever. But the problem is like, even when I'm like trying to listen to that stuff, halfway through the song, I'm like, this is the appeal, and I know what is trying to be appealing, and that attitude that's trying to be appealing does not resonate with me in a way that's even like I play plenty of games where I'm like, oh, I don't give a shit about this, but those are just like I just don't.
Yeah, and you can recognize in the moment the artistic value there. Like when I listen to an opera or watch a musical, I can see the production quality. I can see the skill on display there.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. But like at the end of the day, it doesn't like move me in a way that, like, for example, like Les Miserables. Like Les Mis as a musical doesn't do much for me. Les Mis as a novel,
Right, as
What,
a
not
story is
cool?
telling is fine. Exactly. I feel the
Right.
same way about like stuff like Hamilton or even like the more like newer ones. People will like show me clips and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, the performance here is great. I'm thinking about like what the actor is thinking. I'm thinking about what the production is like, the stage, like the technical stuff. I can get into that stuff is cool, but like the whole package is trying to sell. Like everything together does not hit me the way that it does those fans, and that I see that with anime too, because anime is kind of one of those things where like there's parts of certain animes where you can be like, yeah, that guy looks cool. He looks like a badass. I don't want to hear him talk. I don't want to hear this conversation between him and his like jilted ex-lover or whatever. Like that's kind of boring. And it's like it's the same thing with musicals. Like parts work, but the whole thing and like the attitude most people have about it when they want to talk about it does not work.
Yeah, as a package, it's very subjective, and I think it helps to have grown up with it. To your point, Max, I do think it helps to have had it be a formative part.
Well,
of
I also
life.
think a lot of like the stories that they tell are about the formative parts of a person's life.
Depending on if you're
100%,
watching
anime
shonen or
especially.
something.
I
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
like that's another reason I was saying that is not just like I think it does appeal to a younger like I think it appeals to a younger audience, and I think because of that, like you know, the stories are just they're always towards that. I don't know a better way to say it.
I think
I
you're
feel
right. So I actually find that even Western style storytelling, when it's more about adolescents and teenagers and stuff, I actually kind of tune out of that too. I think probably for the same reasons, because the themes and the subject matter is no longer super compelling to me the way it may have once been when I was younger.
Right. Yeah.
So that's also probably part of it, right? That's probably a factor. Because I think you're right. Most of, well, not most, but maybe like a lot of the anime that I have seen or heard of is, as you say, kind of oriented more around that adolescent stage of life, and it's more about those themes maybe than some other genres.
Definitely
And-
certain genres will be more geared towards it.
I think
Yeah.
there's certain parts of Japanese culture as well that don't resonate as much with them. Like,
Well, I was
So,
going to say,
there's certain
I'm-
parts of their culture that are like, how do I say it? People are very helpful in their culture. Like,
more community focused.
yeah, definitely. I don't know how to say it. Like, trustworthy almost, which is hard to believe about like a culture.
Like
Yeah.
expectation. The
Find it
expectation
quickly.
of like support was different.
Or maybe I should say like they seem to care a lot more about the greater good of the society. And
More community
it's
oriented.
not I wish that resonated with me more, but I just feel naive whenever like I'm listening to anything in
Well,
that regard.
as I mentioned this before, but I do absolutely acknowledge and probably volunteer that I certainly am probably coming to this with a certain level of cultural ignorance and probably some cultural disconnect, right? Because I'm like, it's not surprising that like I come to this with like I like Castlevania, which is far more Western style, even though the
Yeah.
artwork is definitely anime. Storytelling is far more Western style than anime.
Yeah.
Anime typically is, and I think that's a cultural issue that's like a boundary that I haven't crossed, right? Which is a limitation on my end. Like I could probably do more to appreciate the Japanese style of storytelling maybe a little bit more.
But I mean, to your credit, Ian, also, I do think it's the kind of thing where it's like, enough people are interested in a thing. I kind of felt that way about musicals for a while. I tell people all the time, like, I wasn't a theater kid growing up, but I was friends with all the theater kids and could be a theater kid if I wanted to, but I just don't have the appreciation for, you know, musicals, the singing, the kind of stuff, like, you know, the elements that they like. I feel like it's the kind of thing where when people talk about anime so much, you kind of feel this like, well, everyone keeps talking about it. I feel like there's some like not like a deficiency, but it's like, well, why
Why
am I not appealing to this? And I kind of get that because it's one of those things that is enough people have some connection to it early enough that they're ingrained and they feel like, yeah, this is easy to understand and grok that I can like get along with it. But I feel the way with musicals. I'm just like, I just don't have that bug for it. Like I understand what's appealing, but I get it from other ways. And not having the like gene or the attention association, whatever, with anime, I feel like is not a deficiency. Like I have many friends growing up who like I was embarrassed to tell about anime as I watched because they were like, nah, man, that's some like, you know, That's some nerd shit.
Yeah.
I like metal and black metal, and I like all the stuff. But if it has anime stuff in it, I don't like it. And I'm like, yeah, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I get that, and I think that's fair. I definitely. I wish I could get into more anime because part of the reason is because there's like so much content. There's so much of it out there that I could like get into.
There's probably something out there for you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there probably is like a vector, like a sliver of like a vertical of the anime that I could really like. I think that's probably.
Trigun and Cowboy Bebop would be something you might find interesting.
I would say Bebop more than Trigun.
Well, yeah,
Bebop for sure. Trigun has some,
I was thinking basically of what was on Adult Swim back in the day.
Castlevania is not just my favorite anime. Castlevania is one of my favorite shows ever. Like top 5 shit. Like that's how much I love.
Storytelling in that show is so good.
It is, and
so
like,
good for source material that has literally nothing to it. It's like wow, they did a lot with this canvas.
Right? But also like Blue-Eyed Samurai, that's definitely in the vein of shit that I've going on. That's pretty anime.
Oh, yeah. Samurai Champloo.
Maybe it still might be a touch too much for him. I don't know.
It does in like the renegade badass, like the Han Solo part.
Samurai Champloo is just weird.
There's also a lot of stuff.
I actually was gonna say Paranoia Agent Max, which is funny because that would have been way more. It's 2 Twin Peaks to recommend like Samurai Champloo, but it is the same animator and like storyboard artist, I think.
So I think you're right though. I think there's probably like I should probably abandon the idea of like I'm gonna like all anime, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a niche part of anime that I can absolutely get into. Right? There's clearly enough content out there that I can find stuff that I really like.
I mean, it's basically all niche because of the broad spectrum of shit that it covers.
Yeah, because there's probably like a lot of genres within anime, right? There's a lot.
Tons and tons.
Like the biggest one.
Some of it is ridiculous.
Isekai, in my opinion.
The current biggest one is fucking Horse Girl. You seen that?
That's one specific.
I know, but like
show.
Talk about a niche subgenre.
That's just gacha games.
The subgenres in anime are more based on like the specific story, like setup or trope. Because like there's the isekai is one, but there's also like the MMO, like the post-hack world of like. Well, Max, you know, like that whole trend of like there's like 50 shows now that the entire name of the anime is a whole fucking sentence. Yeah, isekai. Well, isekai and that like MMO thing are kind of have like a Venn diagram because some of them are and some of them aren't. Some of them are like you can log out whenever. It's funny that is the one total side tangent. That's the one thing that remained from .hack was like, oh, they can't sign out or they can sign out is literally like a defining wall between the MMO anime genres. I don't know why that is.
All of them are essentially
fantasies. You can't kill this thing fast enough, and it
that
feels
is what
so
combines
fast.
all of those particular
cool character
pieces.
Yeah.
So this is one of the reasons why I'm actually very excited about the Sekiro anime, because it's possible that they may very subtly kind of inch me closer to a more traditional, because actually the artwork and the overall like vibe of it does look a little more traditional anime. But it might be it's using IP that I have such an affinity for that maybe
whatever, man. I just want more of that.
Yeah, exactly, right?
And
so
maybe
bring close.
That is a legitimate reason to watch anime. Like I like me a good real life mecha anime. I don't really care about the super robos, but like if it's like real life robo, then I'm fucking in.
What was it?
Yeah, 8th MS Team.
8th
MS Team is like the #1, for real.
Yeah. But if it's
like
a cool robot, I'm in.
Cameron and me always joked about the what is it called, or how do you say it? The competency porn, or like
where it's all like logistics,
essentially.
Yeah, dude,
and that's
Shin Godzilla is like that.
I'm not saying that 8th MS Team is that. I'm just saying that like.
It's smaller arms. It's like Kill Team for Gundam, because Gundam itself, like the original cartoon, is still like someone described it to me very recently.
Opera.
Gundam is a space opera that is also wrestling in the sense that Gundam Wing did this a lot, where it was like, oh, the main 5 Gundams take out like a ton of like the Leos and like the grunts.
Yeah, the job.
There's no actual tactics, and I kept coming in being like, oh, where's like the Sun Tzu style, like they're gonna take the hill because there's a height advantage. None of that,
No,
because it's wrestling. It's wrestling with grunts in the way, but it is still more designed. Like they do actually, it's like half tactics and half wrestling kayfabe. And for Gundam, that works really well because, like, yeah, you don't have to believe that like his one gun is better because his RPM is different. No, it's just that that Gundam is built slightly better, but there is still like an element of like, oh, you know, his like left leg is missing. Now he has to deal with this challenge. Here's what the challenge is. Here's the flavor of the week of him getting over it.
I also just say parenthetically, this enemy right here is sick.
Yeah, it's a
Yes,
cool. He's got fucking sweet
Cool
kicks.
enemy.
It's like the crow demon type thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like a Tenku.
This is like what Malthus would have been like as an actual yokai or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's also
it's,
I
I think it's called the Tenku.
Yeah,
The Tanku.
Yeah,
think he's called
or Tengu.
Tanku.
Bot.
yeah.
Yeah, fucking kick my ass.
Dude is
Tanku God.
This is
monster.
such a weird, like, this is such a weird map. They put me like in the middle of it.
It's very. It honestly looks more like Dragon's Dogma as a map layout than it
Oh,
does
dude, it
like.
does. Dude, you're right.
Well, I guess part of it is. Well, is this? Oh, this is Who does Nioh? That's Namco, right? Namco does Nioh.
Yeah, Team
Ooh,
Ninja.
dude, published it. Yeah, Team Ninja developed. Namco
Yeah.
published.
It has the layout of one because it has this like not even the cliff sides, but like the way that like it's almost like the way that the like ravines move is very like. You wouldn't have to come down here at all, but if you decide to, there is something down there for you.
Yeah,
and
this
the
is
paths are
now
very
my
simple.
project.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think this is mission critical, but I want my shit back. I
There
wanna
are
kill
some
this-
dead ends that might have something, but there are also just some dead ends that extend because we wanted the space to look bigger.
Yeah, Nate's on a mission now. Like he's got a point to make.
Yeah, this is.
I
just
mean-
being petty.
I think he can get this guy.
We
There
got
was no
7.
boss health bar, right? Like
Oh,
it's just a
yeah.
dude.
We got strats, baby. Dude, the way that he's embered too, that looks sick. This dude looks awesome.
Yeah, this is. He doesn't have pools. He has his like little yokai auras around him.
Yeah, maybe that's
Oh, you know what it
is?
is? It's his staff. His staff hits like a truck.
Yeah, and his fucking spin kick.
Dude, he's so cool. He's a badass. Hey, he's cool.
I think he either needs to be completely parried or completely dodged.
Yeah, he's just way cooler than me. That's the problem.
AoEs in this game, I think, are the struggle point because I'm seeing a lot of AoEs that are like their
Dude,
activation
that's
time is like
always the
0.3
struggle point
seconds.
on Dark Souls. That's always the part I hate about Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Fucking areas of denial and shit, like AoEs. Get the fuck out.
The AoE stuff. AoEs could be AoEs could be done a lot better, I think.
Yeah, maybe they just leaned on it too hard. I don't know. I haven't really like interrogated that question, but I agree. Like,
Well, it's the same problem that MMO bosses have about like what is
Yes.
something that my ability can
That's
actually
Destiny,
block or
man.
defend. It's like,
That's Destiny.
well, right, because they tell you like, oh, here's the thing that if you use it at the right time, it'll work. But then it's like, oh, only certain attacks this is compatible with, and I'm like, okay, so fundamentally, I can't trust this thing ever because if I don't use it on right, there's this whole dichotomy of classes of enemies now. It's not like, oh, this strike always does damage to every enemy. It's like, no, this thing does not work with everybody. Now I gotta figure out the
got him.
dissemination of which are the acceptable targets and who is not.
Alright,
Jump.
let's fucking kill this thing.
I just don't like it when that conflicts with like, well, your build just doesn't work. on this.
Yeah.
Like,
There needs to be like,
That-
what is it? Some MMOs, and I say MMOs only because of the way that like they do the accessibility of certain like, I think even Final Fantasy 14 ironically does this. Is like if you have I've probably talked on here. It's kind of a side tangent, but my rant about like sleep spells in JRPGs specifically.
I don't think I've heard this one.
I
So
don't
my
know what
problem,
it is.
and this actually does, Earthbound unfortunately I think is part of this.
Yeah,
A
probably.
lot of JRPGs do this thing where you have like people who have like their spellcasters or the people who have like whatever the magical ability equivalent of the game is, and they'll do this stuff that's like a status condition applier because there's like fireball, there's ice, there's lightning, there's wind, whatever, and then they have
Whatever
stuff that's like, oh,
quintessence.
right, it just stuns them, it just paralyzes them, it just puts them to sleep. And Earthbound is a really good example of why like at first it feels really unfair. Like if you try to, I think it's like, what is it, not paralysis, but there's like there's No, maybe it is paralysis.
Paralysis will take away your physical attack.
Right, takes away physical attack, but the problem is like the chance of it working is really slim. To the point where like unless you like read the guide and you see the fraction that it actually gives you a chance of, it's like why would I ever use this thing? The more efficient thing to do is just keep hitting them with damaging spells versus trying to put them in a state where
what's set up versus just constant barrage.
Which in like games like Pokemon, which are also turn-based RPGs, they make status effects way more prevalent. If someone puts you to sleep, you're fucking asleep, and there's a chance you could wake up. So the coin flip on whether or not I want to keep trying to attack and wake up my Pokemon is way more believable, versus in these games, after the 8th time you try to use this paralysis spell, and it doesn't fucking work, and you've drawn it on like, 5 or 6 different types of enemies, I'm just like, alright, well then I'm not going to use this because it never fucking works. And World of Warcraft had the same kind of issue, even though it's not turn-based, but it had this issue of like, well, yeah, you can disarm enemies, but they can't be boss enemies, and they can't have this certain thing, and it doesn't work on this boss because he doesn't technically have a weapon. Some of those make sense. Some of those were like, okay, well then why do I have this ability? I'm never going to trust it. I'm never going to fucking use it. Why is it even in the game? Is there any point in the game where this is useful that isn't just like a single boss fight? And if so, why is that a thing I can have all the time? It was almost like a misleading option of like, yeah, you could pick up this rock and throw it at a guy, but you have a gun. Like, well then why would I ever pick up the fucking rock?
Categorically an inefficient option.
Yes.
Incidentally, for the internet's benefit, for those of we played this game obviously a lot on the channel. Elden Ring, Godskin Duo. For those who don't know, super fucking vulnerable to sleep.
Right.
So shoot him with a fucking sleep arrow, and you win.
Which is funny because I didn't learn that until like a year or two
this guy
after the
followed
game
me
came
down.
out.
Fuck me.
I like that because that gives it. It's not like I understand if viability doesn't happen throughout the game. That's a whole other accessibility problem to like talk about. But for me, it's more of the idea of like a lot of JRPGs have these archetypes for characters where they give them certain abilities, and it's like, okay, well, crowd control or like non-damaging status effect stuff is so hard to believe will work because in so many games they add it in as this afterthought of like, oh well, maybe what you can do is you can not do something that hurts them, but you can do something that changes their like the state of themselves. And it's like, yeah, but those never work. Almost never work. In some games they do, some games they don't.
Ooh, he felt that shit. That feels like a design flaw. Like I feel
I think it's a design flaw that even if their intention was to say, hey, it can't just like work every single time you do it, I understand that. I think the problem is the usability becomes like, if like a fight in Earthbound is only a couple turns, you're not going to try it. There's no like sandbox area for you to be like, well, maybe I'll just try it a couple times. Like if it doesn't work after 3 or 4 times, no one's going to use it. But if you want to have it be balanced to where it's not just like, oh, the whole game's easy, you just put everyone to sleep, I don't know what the answer to that problem is, but I feel like that's kind of an issue between like doing certain like types and amounts of damage versus putting someone in a literal like binary status that affects them in a way that makes it more easier for you to accomplish a task.
I feel like actually, surprisingly, Miyazaki games, FromSoft games actually do that kind of a bit better.
They do. They do it much better.
Right? So, like, to the point where it does kind of invalidate certain builds, like Bleed, for example. Like, certain enemies, it's so effective that it actually... There are certain enemies that just negate it altogether. And that, for me, like, that's where it's like, I get that certain enemies are vulnerable or strong against, like, fire or something. But if that's the case, then there shouldn't be entire character builds built around that principle. So, like, Bleed... I get, like, that should be more of a supplemental thing. If there are enemies that are completely invulnerable with Bleed, there shouldn't be a full-on fucking Bleed build.
Right.
Where people can actually spec entirely into Bleed, and then by the time they get to, for example...
And then find out they're fucked.
Yeah, like, for example, the final boss of Elden Ring in the main game, Radagon, is actually completely invulnerable to Bleed. And yet, up until that point, Bleed is, like, a completely viable... actual build concept.
Borderline broken.
Yeah, kind of broken.
All I'm hearing here is it's a skill issue.
Yeah, it could be.
The skills you chose.
I mean, look, if you are actually building into Bleed, I think a lot of people would argue that maybe it's a skill issue. no shade to myself. That definitely did build in the bleed. Yeah, it's like that's a problem that, frankly, that's been true of most Miyazaki games. Is that it's been a little bit too
I don't want to go this way.
exclusive to the kind of build that you do, where you can actually get negated altogether by the enemy that you happen to come across, which is kind of like the opposite of what you're describing, Tom. Which is like they correct it far too much, right? Where it's like a little too strong and it's a little too real. Whereas before, like what you're describing is like it's kind of a thing where it's not really real.
And I don't describe it as a problem that I think there's a definite solution to. I think it's more of a like, every game does damage and like all that whole calculation differently, and not every game has damage. Also, to be clear, but like, it's not a problem that I think is solved. I think it's a problem that needs more. It needs more intuitive insight to the game feel of like you're saying, you don't want to have a bleed build and all of a sudden you get to a boss like 3/4 of the way through and it's like, I literally can't hurt him with what I have. And I'm at a point now where I can't do anything to like, even if that means totally changing up your build with what you have,
really
that's
wanted to
not
mess with
doable.
your users.
Right.
Tom,
There
you feel
should
like
be
a
at least a
really
way to
good-
get through it, right? And like I like the Bethesda style thing of like, yeah, you don't have to have, this quest is undoable without a perception score of 13. It's more of there's ways to find evidence and facts that work. The difference is if you want a slightly easier way or maybe an extra step that doesn't require doing more work, if you have your score to this certain like height or whatever, you can just bypass it with a narratively explained like reason.
That's a little bit like Breath of the Wild. It's a little bit like immersive
Right.
sim, right? Like you get a lot of options for how you want to address problems, and some are more optimal than others, but like none of them lock you out.
Right. You're not locked out. Some are just like easier or they have more interesting interactions. Like
Yeah, you can choose.
dialogue trees are a really good example of that with like Bethesda games. Even like Cyberpunk, I've been playing that recently and like
Me
coming
too.
from a certain background means oh, have you been?
Yeah.
Oh
Briefly.
yeah, I like it a lot now. It's great.
Yeah.
But I like that when Bethesda started doing that with Fallout 3 because it was like, oh yeah, if you're like, a raider background and someone's talking about like doing a deal, you have experience in that, and that's actually relevant. And it might give you a different way to solve the problem you're trying to do with this person. But even if you don't have that background, it's not impossible to get through this like quest or this objective. And I feel like combat needs some version like that, and some games already do that kind of well. There are some games that do have a hidden, like, we don't tell you straight out, but if you use this attack that is poison type, technically you can just use that instead.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but my impression is I think actually you're probably like the biggest immersive sim guy in this group.
I think I
wonder-
am, and I've never really thought about that, but I think you're right.
Yeah, because you like the what are those from Arcane Studios?
Oh, Dishonored?
Dishonored, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I don't play as many immersive sims as I used to, but I still do appreciate the hell out of them because those are my biggest like basis of playing video games. It's like the immersive sims.
My impressions. I actually think I'd be curious to see what your thoughts were on Indiana Jones.
So I've seen some gameplay. I haven't played it.
To me, from what I understand, very
Yeah.
immersive.
That's what I've heard. So I've heard it's also like it's not like trying to do too much of the Ubisoft like open world or even like other open world game
Hyper
thing, but it
collectible
is
environment.
trying to do more like you have options in terms of what you want to do.
Much more Bethesda and Arcane Studios. Like it's sort of a combo, is what I'm hearing. Anyway. I haven't played it,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
like I'm hearing it's much more like a cross between Dishonored and like fucking what is it, Fallout or Skyrim, right? So it's got that more Western RPG vibe, while also crossed with some of that like open-ended, immersive sim, like do it your way, like kind of stuff that is maybe less combat oriented and more like solution based, like come up with your solution to this problem. Kind of
Right.
open approach.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see what you think, because I want to like that game, I want to play it, but like the pitch doesn't feel like what I would want from an Indiana Jones game. But I'm predisposed to be open to it because I'm such an Indiana Jones fan. So, like,
I caught part of the speed run this year at SGDQ, and I think that like was mostly like the combat and mostly just like trying to get through it as quick as possible. So like I will say the combat does look like in terms of like taking out Nazis, fuck yeah, that's awesome. But also the ways in which you can do it are great. It feels very much in the spirit of what Indiana Jones would actually do. But even then, even in like the combat and like the movement, it feels way more like you have the skill set that Indiana Jones like from the movies would use in this scenario.
I'd also be curious what you think of the first-person angle, because whenever I envision, and believe me, I have in my life, the perfect Indiana Jones game, I think about that all the time.
Right. I did not expect, when I first saw like screenshots for it, I was like, oh, it's first-person Indie. I was like, that's interesting. Exactly. I don't know why I didn't think about that.
I assumed, and I always envisioned it being more like an Uncharted. You know what I mean?
Exactly, because Uncharted did do the adventure sense.
Yeah, Uncharted is inspired by the Tomb Raiders.
Oh, yeah, there's no... Uncharted literally is because of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I always envisioned it that way. I still feel like that's probably the better way to go. But I don't want that to be the thing that stands between me and like the best Indiana Jones game ever made, which this is what it sounds like it is. So like, the DLC's coming out soon. Like, I guess probably before end of the year. I would like to maybe get into it. I don't know. I guess I want to get the vibe of somebody who like understands the value of immersive sims, because I don't have a lot of experience with immersive sims. From what I've seen, Breath of the Wild. That's like the most immersive simmy that I get.
Well, so I think from what I understand about the game, from the little bit that I've seen, I think the problem with like the adventure film, like the Indiana Jones, I don't say it's a trope, but like that like genre, is that I don't. It's immersive sim in that there's like a lot of subsystems working, but I don't think it's immersive sim. Like it's not like an open world thing of like, oh, like Dishonored is not open world technically. You have levels,
open area,
and there's like a stealth subsystem. There's
that's what I think
people you talk to. Yeah,
it's more like open areas. It's not fully open world. It's like
new
levels, a new chapter, and now this area, this setting, like the Vatican, for example. That's like I think the opening setting in this game. But that's generally open. Like you can go anywhere in that giant world, but it's only the Vatican. You're not going anywhere else. You can't get outside of that until you progress the story. Right?
Yeah, and I think that's how you have to do that kind of story. I mean, it's why Uncharted. Like people would always complain, like Uncharted is a very fun movie to play, and I would agree. I think it's shooting combat isn't great, but I also don't mind the shooting and control either. So I'm like, it's not amazing, but it's not terrible.
It's third-person cover-based.
Right, it's third-person cover-based shooting, and like for Indiana Jones has that thing of like, a nerdy professor or whatever or archaeologist who works, for museums and as an academic can't throw. There's no way that motherfucker happens to throw a punch that can just take out any Nazi. That's part of the power fantasy. Nathan Drake is a dude who probably can't shoot worth a shit. But when you get into, combat with like pirates.
Correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Nathan Drake like basically just like a boat cleaner at the start of the series? Like,
I'm pretty sure, I don't think it's not like military as far as I know.
Doesn't he just like he's like a diver?
By the end, he's just taking out dudes left and right with no remorse.
He's got like a tiny like a 9mm, not even like it's not a deagle or anything, but it's like he's taking out dudes and he's doing the like pulling them over. Like he probably works out a little bit, but not like he's not like
American.
He's not Dave Bautista just fucking smacking two dudes together.
They shoot it to him at birth.
Yeah,
who just knows how to use guns innately and like has a clean cut.
He's the everyman who happens to have enough skill to make it work.
Every American knows how to use a gun.
That's the selling point.
100%. Every American is born to be Nathan Drake, the most nondescript character.
He's the John Everyman. Yeah, he's a John Everyman who happens to have enough cool. Right, and that's the thing. It's like why I like how Cyberpunk has a stat called cool. It's not like there's dexterity or reflexes, and then there's just cool. And the symbol for it is a yin yang. It's like, it's about stealth, but it's also about like, flipping over cars and shit.
Oh,
just like, you don't have to be strong. You just got to be cool.
Oh, how much
that game sells
the whole stat?
Have you played all of Cyberpunk? Like, are you to the end?
No. I started it. I started it like a week or two ago, and I've mostly been doing side content because I love the hacking in that game.
That is how you play. That honestly, that is how you play CDPR games. Like that is the best.
I love it. I think they did a really good. It's not like a hacking mini. I mean, there's hacking mini games, but what I like about it is like it helps you do stuff, but you can also do it directly to enemies, which is exactly what I wanted. It's like I want to be able to cripple someone because I can hack their feet. Cool.
Yeah.
Done.
So I've mentioned this on this channel many times before because we've talked about whether or not Nate you want to like play Witcher 3 at all. I still recommend it to you because I think it's an amazing game. For years, I hated Witcher 3. I
For
could
years.
not.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought you liked it from the start.
I hated it, and it's because for years I kept trying to get into the main quest storyline, which is probably about, I don't know, 15, 20 hours worth of gameplay. So I hated it for years. And I was like slogging through that main gameplay, and I finally got to the end of it. And then after that, I went into the side quests, and I put in another 150 hours. It was so night and day. It was unbelievable the difference between the main quest and the third party, like the third, I guess not third party, but like the extracurricular.
Yeah, side quests and mainline, like Golden Path.
I had never experienced a game before where the difference was so stark. And if I was to like Gamgee, to use a channel term, to Gamgee through Witcher 3, that's what I would recommend, man. Just do the
stuff.
Side quests first. That is so enjoyable. It's so good. Like, I went from really detesting Witcher 3 to feeling like, I get this. Witcher 3 is unfucking believable.
Yeah.
Witcher 3 is amazing. If you can get through the main storyline, which is fine. Actually, I think most people on this channel actually wouldn't hate it as much as I do. The reason why I hated the main quest storyline is because there were so many interruptions from the story. There's so many cutscenes. Like, you'll get out of a cutscene, and then you'll run 20 feet to the next like checkpoint, and then another cutscene will start.
Oh my god!
It's
Yeah,
very Final Fantasy 13.
It's very
We stuck you in a hallway, and the challenge getting the cutscenes.
And so for me, of all people, that's like the worst fucking thing you can do. But like, once you get to the side quest, it's so much more player oriented and gameplay oriented, and they do not do that cutscene shit so much. And like, you have so much more control and agency over what you do. It's so stark. It's like two completely different video games. And frankly, there's so much more content there. There's literally like 150 hours of side quest shit that you just get to play and be in that sandbox. And like, it's almost immersive sim-y. It's not quite that far, but it's like, it's just so much more freedom. And like, that was my experience with Witcher 3. So I don't know. I think if you can do that in a game where you're giving, at least for me, giving me that kind of freedom, that's what I look for. So I don't know. Like, if Indiana Jones can do that for me, where like the main storyline is whatever, but the side quests, and as I understand it, there are a lot of side quests in Indiana Jones. If it's a little more freeform that way and not so story heavy, maybe I can get into it. Maybe that's a game that I can actually get into. That would be cool. So
yeah, I think it really does depend on the execution of how they do the immersive sim stuff. From what I've seen, it seems like it's fun, even if it's more of like a linear. It's like, I don't want to say shooter because it's not always the shooting, but like even if it is that, I think the way it does the adventure part seems like it's pretty good from the little bit I've seen. But yeah, I think like if it's the thing about Witcher 3 is like it is that open world style where it is also the like, you know, choosing to do certain side content. I think linear is not like a negative thing in this case. Like, linear in this case is good because it's like, if you're trying to tell a certain story, you don't want to be bogged down with bullshit. But they also do a really good job of making the adventure part of the actual action.
Like, Witcher 3, the main storyline actually feels and plays out a bit like a turn-based RPG.
Oof.
Because, like, the combat portions and the actual interactive part is kind of perfunctory. Like, you get through that really easy. It's like not very challenging, and it's kind of like what you do in between the cutscenes and the storytelling.
Yeah.
And like, that's why I didn't enjoy it, because it was so cutscene and storytelling heavy. And then when you transition to the side quests, it's definitely more interactive. It's definitely more gameplay oriented. And I think to me, I want it to be one or the other. Tell me the story where I don't have to interact all the time and I can just watch a movie. I love that. That's fine. I'll watch a movie. Yeah. And especially if the story's good. Great. Don't make me go back and forth. Like, don't make me pick up and put down the controller a million times.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me. And maybe Indiana Jones, it's a better balance. Maybe it will, give me a good Indiana Jones story, and then on the side I can sort of play as Indiana Jones the way I want to play.
Yeah. I can't speak to how the gameplay evokes it enough, but if it's anything like Uncharted, I will say something I thought of while we were talking about this is something I like about Uncharted. Uncharted does have cutscenes, but not like a ton. From what I remember, they do a really good job of doing what I think 2018's God of War did, which is one. What I love about that game is if you are in the middle of like a side conversation that's not critical, the characters will pick it back up if you get interrupted by combat.
They don't.
Why the fuck is every game do that?
Over your character, and they don't cut away.
Yes.
Like it's all one shot, right? That's like the whole conceit of God of War.
Right, but they also they bother to actually like bookmark
God
where
damn.
you were at, so you can pick it up like an actual conversation.
And it's always
which
like
is
while you're in
that's great.
transit to somewhere else, so you're not missing out on anything. You're always just like,
use of your time.
yeah, you're just catching an episode of
But
your
something I
podcast
like
on your way to
that
point B.
Yeah.
Uncharted was really good at. Is Uncharted does have like story dialogue happen while you're still like in control in the third person camera. It's not like all of a sudden it's taken away. Here's cinematics and then you come back to it. Sometimes the cutscene is while you're walking around while you're still doing stuff.
Even though it is very not always, but sometimes it's very quick time event oriented. But to that point, even in that case, what would otherwise be cutscenes in most games is actually still playable, right? It's actually not cutscenes. It
doesn't have that same like negative effect where you're like, okay, I guess I'm gonna put this down and watch this thing.
Yeah,
it's like, no, I'm still moving.
Right, it is active. It is.
Why can't I fucking
That
beat
is,
this
I haven't
guy?
played through all of any of them, but I will say something that I like that Naughty Dog does with Uncharted and Last of Us is that exact thing. They know how to do dialogue without like, I don't know if it's a psychological thing. People like when they still have control over the characters, and I also do. I think there's a cool cinematic element of I'm still moving my character while they have this preset conversation happening. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for that. I want that in all cases. And I to the Uncharted example is actually really perfect, Tom, because like to me there are a lot of scripted scenes, but you are very active in those. Those are set pieces. Those are
Right.
big
There's scripted
actions.
scenes that aren't. Yeah, it's not the Metal Gear Solid 4 issue of like, okay, put the controller down for the next 2 hours because now you gotta watch a movie. It's like, no, you still get to do. You can do stuff and you can pick things up, even if it's something simple like pick up ammo. That still feels like I am playing as Nathan Drake and he is doing these things as I'm still doing what he would be doing.
Yeah, because I played 1 and 2, and I honestly love those games. And those are games that are not like my major genre.
Right, they're not like amazing. Like I love them. Also, I love the trilogy just because I think that they're great. Like they to me are what Indiana Jones movies were to people back in the day, which is like, oh, there's a lot of set pieces, there's a lot of really specific action, but it all works. It's all believable because it knows what it's doing.
It's a cohesive story. It does setups and it does payoffs like a normal narrative would.
Right.
What the fuck?
And this guy is nemesis.
It's that AoE shit, man. He is spinning around more than I've ever seen.
It's also when I dodge. Like, I keep thinking that I have iframes when I dodge. I don't.
You don't.
Maybe you have to. Maybe he has to be countered. I wonder.
I think you have it's like Sekiro. You only get like 3 iframes in your dodge.
Yeah.
And it also depends on the direction that I dodge. I keep dodging back. It's not always the best.
Because also, if he's not giving you any amount of like, you know how some bosses clearly whiff when they really could be like up in your grill. If he's just constantly getting up in your shit, I think it's a counter focused fight.
What the fuck?
Like that.
Oh my god.
That step forward covers so much ground. I think it's got to be a counter of some kind. There's no way.
I just don't have the beat for that thing.
Good news. Cute puppies.
True.
It's true.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. Do you have? Oh no. I guess you have to build up your.
I probably can pick them up and just use them. I've never used them, so maybe I'll just do that. Just to see what they're like.
I was gonna say, yeah, maybe this is one of those fights. I've had a couple fights like in Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3 where it was like, actually, the best thing you can do is blow all your shit right now because that will give you the gap to survive long enough to end his health bar.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we have demonstrated how powerful this is.
See, look at that. Even though he already had you pushed, he is moving so much distance forward with regular strikes. That tells me he is like designed to be the kind of guy who can't be like evaded against. Like you can't like hold the B button and run.
He's OP on spacing. Yeah. You can't.
He's OP on spacing because he has like, it's not even a teleport, it's just the distance.
You don't get to control his spacing. That sucks.
So unless you can like dodge through his movement, I don't. Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, look, this is one of those characters where I feel like he's eventually going to be just a regular character. Like.
Oh yeah, no, totally.
Oh yeah, this is a Taurus demon, for sure.
Totally. That said, the other benefit here is that he's still badass.
I mean, yeah, it's a cool enemy. Just
cool character. Yeah.
I think
he's a bit of a
Yeah. What you did right there, I think, is what you have to do, which is no more than 2 strikes per like go in.
Yeah, he's a zoner in the sense that
Yeah.
he's really controlling space here. So I think patience, as per usual,
It's
is
that
kind of
cane. It's that staff strike.
Yeah, you got to find a way to avoid that or rely.
Oh, you know what it might.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, he's
that's just fucking cheap.
Sad.
I will
Really?
say.
He's a fucking charge character.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I was gonna say, I think maybe it could be a stance issue because I was like, if the animations for some of your like regular like non-heavy strikes are too long, you might have to go with the shorter stance just to get in and out quick enough.
When you have a
That-
chance,
yeah.
answer the question: how much have you been using the different stance? I'm curious if that's something you've been bouncing.
Yeah, I know he was doing a good amount of it a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have any fucking heals left. Fuck me.
Even if you die now at this point, you can
No,
totally
go
do this
ahead.
again. You can absolutely do this again.
Close. Yeah, go aggro. Okay.
Hey.
Got him. Okay.
There it is. I was gonna say, I think that's what it was because I noticed as soon as you went for like 2.5 hits, that half hit, he would immediately retaliate, and there was no exit for you to dodge out of it without getting hit, even
His
if the
counter-strike
dodge
on
didn't
his
get
staff
interrupted.
is what kept killing me.
Yeah,
Because he can just, sometimes he does it and sometimes he doesn't. And when he doesn't, I keep going, and when he does,
I think that's
I'm
actually a
used to not
strength of the
stopping.
katana gameplay
That's the
is only doing the like 1-2 and then limiting yourself to 2 strikes. I think that is kind of the attrition war is just to because the katana I assume is like a medium damage weapon.
Yeah, it's
So I think what you
all
might
around
want to do is just 1-2 out and then
I can't believe you
Just
don't
do it
even get
over
access to that fucking door after that fight. Damn,
I know,
that's
I know,
brutal. Jesus. That's crazy. Like all that effort, and it's like, nah, you don't get to go through here. Go around.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Damn.
I don't fucking do that.
Hard
Can
work.
I just discard this?
Your sleeves rolled up. That's kind of looks dummy.
No, it's because I took the hands off completely. On
You
accident.
do look. You look like you
yeah.
were just better.
Hang on.
Looks kind of
God damn
dopey.
it. Hang on.
How do we feel about an aggressively curved katana?
Like a scimitar?
like that I don't mind. I
I
like the idea of slightly longer katanas. I had a D&D character that used a I guess Nodachi and Odachi are the same, but whatever is the slightly longer katana that was meant to be a response to anti cavalry. They would I forget which castle it was, but they would make guys stand out in the field and be like, okay, they've got spears. We're not fucking using that. We're gonna give you a longer sword, and you're gonna aim for the horse's legs, and just fucking
Yeah.
don't
the-
move a
the
ton.
I
Horse
personally
slaying
like the
sword.
katana that Nate has equipped right now.
Hold on.
That is too curved, in my opinion. I like something more subtly straight.
Right.
You know?
Well, I guess Nate could probably speak to this, but what does drawing that feel like? Because that length is so long that like the draw is like you pulling and pushing
Correct. The
the
length is
scabbard and the
Yeah.
hilt at the same time.
You can get away with a lot when you do a pull and push at the same time for the draw. But it's
Just the
really-
draw, I imagine that's got to be like
Yeah.
unwieldy, right?
There is a certain rise over run balance that you kind
Zon
of.
Yeah, so- a
Zon-
European
Zon-
longsword. A European longsword is going to be about 35 inches.
Oh wait,
like,
that's Chinese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so like,
No, you're right, Tom. Odachi.
if you guys
Yeah,
have ever
well, there's a
drawn-
couple different names for you.
if you guys have ever drawn a longsword that's like 35
Yeah.
inches, that's about
God, yeah.
10% of what is really actively drawable for like a 6 feet. A 6 foot.
Yeah, because there's like an angle to it where it's like anything longer than this, and you can't pull it out
you
well
have to
enough
change the
without.
way you wear it if it's longer
Yeah.
than that by and large. So, like that can be tough. Beyond that, we're talking about like great swords, like larger, like two-handed sword, the kind that you would carry into battle,
Like
like a spear.
Y-handers.
Exactly, yeah. So you carry it like on your shoulder, like as like a spear at that point, right?
Yeah. It's to break formations and cut staves.
Right. So like, I think we're like pushing it when we're talking about like Odachi's probably like the.
I'd still say this is doable.
This is like longsword style.
Yeah. This is more of a tachi. Because the tachis are slightly longer and slightly older version of a katana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They came first. They were
For me,
they
it's
were
just
also meant to be wielded on horseback. Like
a little
Right. Yeah. They were either horseback or anti-horseback swords.
yeah.
It just looks to Max's point. It looks a little too scimitar-y, you know, like a little too curved for me. I like a little straighter, more subtle grip.
So I think part of the problem with that is also the way that katanas in general. Well, I mean, Japanese design swords in general. The reason why they have the curve at all is because when you swing one, like when you swing a scimitar, it's kind of just like an
What
axe.
the fuck?
That is sword style.
He just lazily slapped me upside the face with that axe, and I died.
Yeah, the damage from that alone was very funny.
Katanas, as I understand it, katanas are actually pretty. Like if you actually hold one in hand, it's actually very tip heavy.
It is. Yes.
Yeah, it's designed to be a cutter.
Because it is very.
When the proper method of swinging one, from what I understand, and they can correct me, is when you swing one, it's not like a lot of times when you swing like a European sword, you're kind of chopping with it. When you swing with a katana, what you're doing is if you're holding it two-handed, the top hand is pushing forward, and the bottom hand is pulling backward.
Like a draw cut.
So you're kind of swiping. You're not necessarily like chopping with the whole length. You are swiping. Yeah, it's a push-pull at the same time because that lets you use the greater.
The purpose was like rending, as opposed to like.
Yes. Yeah.
And then also, it's not just like hitting him with it. There's also a drag to your cut as well.
That's why
so
I said rending, because of the drag that you would have afterwards.
I've always kind of thought of it as more of like a pointer, because like the way like that action means that like the movement from the tip, because when you do with a European sword, the whole length is being used more together. With a katana, the tip and like the top third is really doing a lot of the digging when you push and pull at the same time.
I was actually kind of wondering with those, like, what happens if part of the blade isn't as sharp as the rest of the blade? Like,
typically
it's going to get hung up in somebody?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I think typically it isn't, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the more distal part of the blade is much sharper.
There's,
I guess after you've made a cut, you're probably not going to get hung up on the person at that point.
Yeah, once you've started it, it's usually not going to stop. But
I know we're over the 9 o'clock mark, the 2 hour mark here. So maybe soon. But nice. I want to pose a question to the team here.
Yeah.
What is your fantasy weapon? You got to pick one. Nate, this applies to you especially. You got to pick one, dog. What is your fantasy?
Oh man.
Lord of the Rings, like
I think
47 Ronin style.
We've answered questions like this before.
Yeah, but not lightsaber, right? So like, it can't be omnidirectional cutting laser sword.
To me, it kind of depends on style.
Like, what would be like D&D? You can only choose one for the rest of your life.
If we're talking like pre-industrial, like we're not talking like significant guns, like modern.
Yes.
My answer still, I like claws and I like the weird dex weapons. I like daggers. I like assassin blades and all that kind of stuff. Scimitars. It's got to be the scythe though. The scythe is just a cool weapon that I think if you angle the blade correctly is a really really cool weapon. It's a pole arm that has a blade, and it's kind of unpredictable. You don't see a lot of people using them outside of like a staff.
What I like most about that choice is it's very proletariat. Because it's
very farm,
Right, it's a farming tool that if you design it as a combat burst weapon,
it would be better if you took the scythe's blade off and put it on a handle.
Probably.
Well, that's what
happens. That's legitimately something they did.
Yeah, that's why I love
the best
commas.
boss from Dark Souls 3 uses a fucking scythe, and that's Sister Frida.
Scythes, commas, the way that blade is angled. If you, a lot of scythes are very meant to be necromancer type things, and the staff is not really designed it's meant to cull a certain angle, but if you raise that angle more obtuse, you have a pretty cool battle scythe. If you take the angle that you expect a scythe blade at and you push it outward a couple degrees, that's the perfect weapon because it has the culling capability, but it also has the ability to reach around. Yeah,
it's hard to be cooler than the fucking Grim Reaper.
It is. It's also that.
For sure.
What is it in Soul Calibur? I don't like the way he plays, but the character that has Zolomel cites the design of his weapons, rad as fuck. It's like spines as the actual the pole itself is very cool. And if you're gonna use a pole arm, staffs are cool, but a staff with a blade on the end is always you get the best of both worlds. You get stick and sword.
There's Donatello with a fucking blade on the end of his staff.
Yeah. That's always my choice, just because I feel like there is you can use it as a staff, so you have versatility, but you have the blade also, so you can still get some of that weird arcane necro bullshit if you want it.
So,
But
alright.
even
I
if not the
threw in
scythe and
chat
commas.
What the one thing that I've seen in some games where you're playing as low fantasy, where they basically they reforge the scythes of villagers so that it is angled up 90 degrees. So
Yes, bingo.
this would
Yeah,
still be a farmer's scythe. It's
The
just
scythe
that
blade has just been re-angled.
it
to
was
be
a
war
way
scythe.
to get
yeah,
more
exactly. I feel like I've seen
reasonable
this.
weapons into villagers' hands quickly,
That's like
into conscripts' hands.
what is the like giant spear / axe?
There is a version of this that is like
Oh, the
we
halberd?
made this specifically as a weapon, but this is like effectively this is like the nicest example. We took a farmer's scythe and we were like, get in there.
It's like a halberd.
Yeah. Well, that's why the D&D character I played in Nate's Avernus campaign had a halberd for that same reason. He's very much like a defender,
He
but
just picked it up one day.
right,
Said,
picks
yeah,
it up one
soldier
day,
now.
but it's also like this actually like it's
There you go. There's
it's
some
what I like
diagrams.
about Dead Space, even though it's more guns. Dead Space has this idea of like, what if your best tool was like a fucking handsaw that you just picked up one day because you realize, well, it's the most versatile. It's a thing I know how to use already to some degree.
Well, it's very man. It's like
Right.
fuck equipment.
Exactly. I feel like in like a lot of martial arts weapons, like stabs and things,
That's
nunchuck
what
also
size
come from right.
Size,
They all come from farm tools, and I feel like that's the most effective because it's like,
Oh
Okay.
damn. That
Alright.
sucked at all the good berry.
yeah,
Yeah.
oof.
All right, so Tom chose
Tom
the
went down to the
goth,
scythe.
weapon, right?
There's a hierarchy, but Scythe is at the top just because it is the most versatile and it's a two-hander, and you can shorten it to whatever you want.
He chose the Marilyn Manson weapon.
The Maryland, yeah, I guess that is the Maryland Manson weapon. That's a good point.
I know. Ian's. He's a two-handed longsword, straight blade longsword.
Longsword, baby.
Can't go wrong.
Give me
Can't go wrong.
Aragorn's bog standard,
Bog
basic
standard Strider sword.
Lothric sword, man.
sword. That's the one I want.
Works really well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me turn the weapon into a hero. Like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
What is there's a to that point, I will say what I really like of the custom design. There's a sword in Castlevania that references a sword from an old fantasy. I think it's a Western fantasy book called Terminus S.
Is
It's
that
a-
the one that Trevor ends up using?
I don't know. The Terminus S is a sword that in the game it's like poison, but in the novel it
Yeah.
comes from is like the sword that has like Quicksilver or Mercury in it. So when you swing it, the weight of the blade shifts from the middle or bottom
hilt to
the
tip.
tip. Yeah. So all of a sudden it basically functions like, imagine if you had the
That's how
chopping
it's,
power of a greatsword
It's
in a
They use
maneuverable
that
on the
name for
defense
ship
because
in
the weight's
40K
back.
too.
yes. Yeah.
Everybody doesn't know
It
that.
translates to "it is the end."
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
how you
Literally.
use an axe, by the way. For anybody who doesn't know, like an actual like felling axe or a maul, like that's how you use it. You hold it in the, like a bow staff almost.
Mhm.
Like your hands are very far split apart, and like so it's
And then they swing
maneuverable.
it
Right.
to be
So
set.
that
Yeah,
yeah, the guiding hand is meant to
I your
yeah.
hand down the axe handle. And, yeah, it's very similar.
Yep.
Okay, Nate. So you're not as gothy, apparently. I would imagine. What is your?
I mean,
are you gonna
a scythe
choose, like,
doesn't
the
have
basic
commas on it, Gaffy.
spear? But like, Nate, are you going to choose a spear, like boring ass spear? Like,
Yeah,
what's your-
probably. Just because, like everyone thinks swords are the coolest, but the real king of the weapons
That's true.
is the spear.
And I will
The
say,
sharp
to
stick is the first
Nate's
weapon we
credit,
ever took.
Spear is the rifle. The sword is the sidearm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the spear is also part of the reason why I choose the scythe, because the stick portion is still a polearm. You can still use it as a
Not
regular
utility.
thing. Yeah.
Not easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
It's,
Nate just
yeah,
Max, what about
although
you?
I do
I'm going
I
with
do,
Rondel.
Oh, a rondel, like a rondel dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I like that. That's a good. I like when someone has a specific. Like I always say halberds.
in the joints.
I do like me a short spear, like a sword spear almost.
Get yourself some
I
want
wanna
to
know
some full plate.
Who's the
after,
person
you
that picks
peel
the
it off of 'em.
flamberge? Like they want a two-hander, but they want it to be like a sine
They want-
wave, and I'm
they want
like,
to be on
who's the
fire.
motherfucker who?
Nerds here chose Falchion. I would imagine like a bunch of nerds here. would
Oh,
be-
I
like,
actually
shit.
so
Yeah, if I was gonna
This
go
is
sword,
one-
I would probably do a messer of some sort.
a falchion's cool because it's like if you want a straight sword, but you still like scimitars to some degree, the falchion has that curve
You
right
want
toward the end.
European ingenuity with a single cutting
Yeah.
edge, so you still want that slight weeb.
Yeah.
It's
Yes, I will say-
Great Blade.
Oh.
That is one thing.
The Falchion and the Messier is for people who thought too fucking hard about this.
Yes. Oh, Falchion 100%. It's like when
I do like me a good Kriegmesser though. That's a cool
It's
one.
cool.
I had a DM once. I was describing the halberd to him. I was using a halberd as another character, and he was like, "Oh, it's like a bardiche," and I was like, "What the fuck did you just say?" I know what you just said, but I've never heard anyone
You're
say
like
that
not
word out loud in
wielding a
person.
bard.
What's the French equivalent? Francophile? I think is the French equivalent of a weeb.
Yeah.
Francophile.
But
Oh,
it's the kind of thing where it's like it's just a
Napoleon,
variant of a certain sword. Actually, Symphony of the Night was really good about that. They give you a gladius, which if you don't know is just a Greek, I think it's a Greek, maybe Roman sword that doesn't have like a hilt, like a guard, on purpose because they wanted gladiators to not be able to defend, like they don't want them to riposte. They just
the
want them to have the
Viking-
fucking
a Viking one-handed arming sword is basically built
Yeah.
directly off of a gladius. Yeah.
yeah,
Totally.
literally, and like
It's
that's
probably
it's a
the other
small
way around.
difference,
They were
but it makes
probably
it.
made first.
Yeah, I've seen this graphic, Max. This is I've literally described this
Anyway,
for a D&D character.
I feel like we can go on and on about this.
Oh yeah,
But we are
Weapons are
15 minutes or so past time. We can pick this up next time.
There you go, Ian. There's
Everyone
the
write
French
down
weeb word.
your thoughts on it.
for everyone who wants that hot weapon talk,
Yeah.
come
Although,
back to.
Hot take.
Nice.
I would also
Nerd
do a rope dart or a meteor hammer. That'd be fucking sweet.
Great.
Just because no
I
one
will
knows how to
say-
deal with that shit.
Lightsaber.
Even though
from-
Castlevania only had the
Lightsaber.
whip become a thing because of sprites, the whip and that versatile stuff is really fucking cool.
Wait,
like
wait,
Kasarigama is cool because it's very like malleable. You can just wrap it
Yeah.
around shit.
Read the
Flexible
fourth
weapons.
definition for grognard.
Monowires. Grognar. Oh no. I know what Grognard is.
language.
You were asking about the French weeb, so I threw in grognard.
Ah.
Grognard.
Grognard is like
That is the French weeb.
I shall-
it is the wargaming weeb to me. Is a Grognard is the guy who has he's already got an MO in mind and he's probably good at it. But
The
man,
person who knows everything about Napoleonic War.
That is a
Yeah.
way better word than weeb. I like that way better.
Grognard is also just way more
Grognard.
fun to say.
And I just love the fourth
like a
definition
fucking
there
monster.
from Wikipedia. A soldier
Clive
or
Barker novel.
enthusiast in attention to detail for rules and regulations. Respected as an expert in things most people don't care about.
Tom, you fucking fuck me.
What did I say?
Excellent. Well, on that educational note, we'll call it here for the week. The rest of you grognards and weebs out there, I hope you tune back in so we can continue this discussion.
Baby.
Maybe we'll go down the line and be like, okay, favorite fantasy weapon, favorite sci-fi weapon, favorite fantasy armor, favorite, I don't know, whatever.
Good.
Well,
Yeah.
let's pick
Everyone,
the weeb
everyone do your
term for
homework, come up
every
with a question,
culture.
and come up with an answer for that question, and then
I
Send
want
in
to-
letters to our
for
PO
every
box and
culture.
tell us whether you prefer Leatherface or the guy from Scream or Grognard as your favorite horror villain.
Oh my god. Grognard is your favorite horror villain. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
You want Grognard.
Yeah.
All right.
You're
Well,
like, no, the armchair historian, god damn it.
That'll do it for now. We'll catch you all next time.
Yeah,
Bye,
thank you everybody for watching.
Have a good week. Later.